Than the right hash for a kicker because he can just push it right up through. Rich going for the field goal to win. Has this ever happened in Rich Rebel football? A field goal to win? Huffaker lined up. Oh boy, here we go. 4th down. Huffaker kicks it. It's up. And it is through. The Rebels win.
Rich Rebel football is on.
Jessen back looking to throw. Ball pops loose again at the Rebels hit him, and Riley Taylor is on it.
After a first-round exit in last year's playoffs, the Rebels return to the gridiron with hopes of taking it to the next level.
Huffaker takes the snap, throws deep, looking for Wilson, and he makes the catch in traffic at the 45 to the Altamont 40-yard line. Kyler Wilson.
Strap in and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com.
Another give to Hislop. This time he's got some room across the 50, 45.
And now, Rebel football fans.
Takes the snap, keeps it himself right up the gut, and Hislop just grabs his shoulder pads from behind and pushes him forward, and Huffaker gets out across the 20.
Hang up your hats, kick back, and get ready to run as we head to the field to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan STEINECKERT.
Good evening, Rebel fans, and welcome to a little bit of a late start on Rebel football tonight. The pregame show is brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Just about to go on air about 15 minutes ago. It started raining and blowing. I had to put stuff away just to protect all the equipment here at Bear Lake. Of course, not a spot in the press box, so we're out in the elements dealing with that, and I just got to protect the equipment. We'll go on a little bit late this evening, but we'll still try to get as much as possible in on our pregame show. We've got Rolene Kennedy. We'll hear from her in just a moment and be right back.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
We're going to run through a super quick scene set this evening, and our scene set is brought to you by J-Bar Excavation, the team, the tools, the experience for your excavation project. Call 793-5855. That's 435-793-5855. Last time the Rebels were out, a 40-0 loss to Kanab. Rebels had no offense in that game. The Bears' first game of the season is tonight. This is the Bears' debut of the 2019 season. So Rich comes in at 0-1. We're looking at the Bears. If you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, that's what they did last year. That lone win was over the Rich Rebels a year ago, a 31-6 victory in which Bear Lake racked up 398 yards of offense, 300 of those on the ground. Rebels had plenty of offense of their own in that game, but turned it over 6 times. 3 picks, 3 interceptions, or 3 picks, 3 fumbles, plus 4 turnovers on downs. The Rebels just couldn't ever convert or finish last year against Bear Lake. And last year, the offense for Bear Lake, 14 points a game. They allowed 37.5. That's all we're going to get to right now in our pregame scene set, brought to you by J-Bar Excavation. J-Bar has the team, the tools, and the experience for your excavation project. We're going to jump ahead in our Rolene Kennedy pregame show to the Mound Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now? And hear from Donnell Wasden when we return on this presentation of Rebel Football on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mountain Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, are proud to support the Rich High Rebels in creating their own path and leaving a trail of success in athletics and in activities, in education and in life. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997. Mountain Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
Ryan Steineckert on the Mountain Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now with Danelle Wasden, 2001 graduate of Rich High School? Danelle, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
So where are you now? You're here at Rich High School, back teaching?
Yes. Yep, I'm teaching at Rich High now.
Tell me about your position here.
I teach part-time in the high school, special education. I come in the afternoons and help in that department.
Give me the Danelle Wasden file. You grew up in Rich County. What did you do at Rich High School?
I played volleyball and basketball and ran track and did the musicals and, yeah, kind of did it all.
How? Do you remember what musicals, what shows you guys did?
Yep, we did Oklahoma and Hello Dolly, the ones I performed in.
And do you remember your roles in those?
Gertie in Oklahoma, and then I was Hello Dolly in Hello Dolly.
You were the Dolly Levi, right?
Yep, Dolly Levi.
My wife played that show in the community theater where she grew up. Any fondest memories of being in the shows?
It was just always a lot of fun. Yeah.
So you were busy then, doing the musicals and playing the sports. Won some state titles with volleyball?
Yes. Yep. We won state titles my junior and senior year. So, yeah.
What sticks out of those years playing sports and participating in that?
It was a lot of work, but it was also a lot of fun. So I don't know. Obviously sports academics didn't stick out a lot to me. I did take college classes and stuff, but the sports and musical, and that was most important to me.
It's been interesting, talking with folks like you and even, women who've graduated more recently and the impact that Coach Cindy Stewart had on them.
Yeah, she one of my favorite people. So she's taught me a lot of things about life, and yeah, great woman. After
Rich High School, then what?
I went on to play college volleyball at Salt Lake Community College and then at Utah State, and then I ended up graduating at Weber State with my special education and elementary education.
What position in volleyball did you play?
I played outside hitter.
How tall are you?
5'8".
That's not the typical. I mean, maybe it is for Rich County, the 5'8" outside hitter, but isn't that usually a more taller individual?
Yes, I felt very short in college.
You must be able to jump.
I used to could jump. Yeah.
So, Danelle, how did you then end up back here in Rich County at Rich High School?
So I ended up getting a job in Cokeville, Wyoming, and taught elementary there for 8 years, I want to say, 6 years, 8 years, I don't know, somewhere around there. And then my husband worked on my family's ranch, and then he ended up getting his degree, so I quit Cokeville because we have 5 kids, and he teaches in Cokeville now, and we just wanted to be by the ranch and do the ranch thing, and then I stayed home, and then this opportunity came, so that's how we got here.
So 5 kids, you guys, you have your hands full with teaching, the ranch, and the kids.
Yes, we do.
How did you guys meet?
Volleyball at Salt Lake Community College.
Tell me more about that.
So we had a small team that year at Salt Lake Community College, and he played volleyball. So he'd come and practice with us, and then he'd come to the games, and I got a black eye from one of the middle blockers, came down with her elbow anyways, and he goes, where'd you get that black eye? And so that's kind of how it all started.
We're talking with Danelle Wasden, a 2001 graduate of Rich High School. And Danelle, any other memories or things that you participated in at Rich High School?
Not that I can think of right now.
Being back, what is it like for you now to be back at Rich High School and walk the halls as a teacher?
It's awesome. I love the kids already, the students. They're awesome, and that's really why I'm here.
Are you seeing a lot of familiar faces in the staff and teachers?
Yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces.
Was there anybody that really had a big impact or special influence on you?
Definitely Coach Stewart. She's probably my number one, yeah.
Do you see yourself getting involved with the musical here or with the sports as involved as you were in high school?
With my 5 kids, not in the near future.
And do they play sports?
Yes. My oldest is in 6th grade, and he just started Little League football, so it's exciting.
With the sports history in Rich County and in Cokeville, they kind of have to, right?
Yes, they do.
That's a lot of fun. So, Danelle, if there's nothing else to touch on, any words that you'd like to share with anybody who might be listening or watching today?
Give it all you got.
Danelle Wasden, a 2001 graduate of Rich High School. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Good luck with the 5 kids and being back here at Rich. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danelle, for joining us on Where Are They Now? Brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company. Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Stay tuned when we return on the Rolling Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We'll visit with the coaches of today's teams on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Football on KDQ FM 98.3 with live streaming. More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
At Ellingford Brothers, we're known for an excellent steel shop and quality cement. We also provide other products all year round. Sand and different sizes of gravel for road base and landscaping in the summer and fall. Traction in the winter and mud control in the spring. Bark for landscaping in the summer and winterization in the fall. And topsoil. Spring, summer, and fall. Prices are always honest. Pickup or delivery. Ellingford Brothers, your year-round source for so many things. Stop in today at 221 County Road in Evanston.
You're tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. This is Rebel Coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. It's game 2 for the Rebels this 2019 season, and after a tough loss against Kanab last week, the Rebels look to rebound, make some adjustments, and get better this week at Bear Lake, where it won't get any easier against a physical and tough Bear Lake Bears team in the Bear Lake rivalry. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a few minutes to visit with opposing coach Ryan Messerly, and then we'll talk to Rebel headman Justin Grohl and get his thoughts on tonight's game. We'll be back after this from Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. On this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football and the Wildlife with live streaming video at MyLocalRadio.com. Go Rebel! Ryan Steineckert with Ryan Messerly, head coach of the Bear Lake Bears. Coach, thanks for your time.
Yeah, it's good to be here on our new field.
The new field looks great. Nice green grass. You got the crown there. It looks good.
Yeah, they did put a lot of work into this. So we finished painting it last night, and I think our kids are excited to play on it. So
you 2 positives there: the new field, and you get to start the 2019 season at home.
Yeah, we do. We get to start home. You know, the bad thing is we don't get to play for another month at home, but other than that, we're excited to be here.
Like the Spurs on the rodeo road trip for the NBA season. They're away from home for a month. That's what you guys get. But let's go back to last year. You beat Rich on the first game or early on in the season. Then you guys didn't win another game. No wins after that.
No, we didn't. We were an extremely young team. You know, we started 7 sophomores last year. Lost a couple seniors. So we really bring about the same team back. So yeah, that's definitely a positive note.
Against Rich, you piled up a lot of offensive yards. Was that something you saw throughout the season, or was your offense kind of a work in progress?
No, our offense actually did really, really well. I mean, on average, we had 400 yards plus per game, which was phenomenal, and we hadn't seen that in some of our statistics as far as back as I could find. But what had happened is, penalties in the red zone, and we just I think a lot of that young talent, gets to them, and a little bit of pressure when you get in the end zone. So, again, we're a year older, year wiser.
How do you feel like, then the year older, year wiser, you feel like you're going to have a pretty good team this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we did put a new offense in last year, so that was some growing pains. And so now we're rolling on year 2 with this, so we'll just keep going up from here.
Looking back at that win over Rich, from the perspective that I saw, you guys forced a ton of turnovers. I think 3 picks, 3 fumbles, plus 4 turnovers on downs. They didn't have a chance to score between all those giveaways.
Oh, right. I mean, and that's a big part of the game also is turnovers and things that we try to practice on and focus on in our our philosophy as far as a program. So we're always going to say defense is going to win championships in the end. So, but offense has got to score points.
Has that been a big focus then this, in practice leading up to tonight's game is the defense?
That's been a big part of it, just because we know that we can move the ball. And I think having that maturity level, we won't break when we get in the end zone or the red zone. So
last year was different. It was you guys scored a lot of points, but the 2 years before that, a 2-0 win for Rich at Rich, and then I think you guys beat them 14-0 here 2 years ago. It was a defensive battle.
Yeah, and that's why we really like playing Rich, County, because they usually have a great team, and it's a fun battle and great way to open the season. At least for us, I know that Rich has played a game, but for us, it's been a great opportunity to play something at least close.
So you mentioned Rich playing a game. You've had a maybe chance to look at a little bit what they do and scout them a little bit. What are you preparing for with Rich?
Well, a lot. I can see it with a lot of the same stuff that we had last year. I mean, you can see that they're gonna run the spread and try to spread you out and get their athletes into open space. So,
what do you feel like your team needs to do today to win?
It's focused on the details. And it's the details of the game that's going to make or break anything, because we've always been pretty close as far as when we're playing, and so it's those details that I think are going to separate, that winning team.
Coach, anything else we should touch on today?
No, I don't think so. I'm glad to be here, and hopefully it doesn't rain on us anymore.
Ryan Messerly of the Bear Lake Bears, thanks so much for your time. Good luck tonight and the rest of the season.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's action, and you're tuned into the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Coming up on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl here on Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and mylocalradio.com. More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care. When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Ken Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say, Go Red Rebels! Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. The Bears have not played yet this season, so it's an unknown. The Rebels not sure what to expect out of Bear Lake in tonight's game in Montpelier. We'll see how things turn out. Kickoff a few minutes away, but first, stay tuned. We'll be right back with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Ryan Steineckert with Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebel football team. Coach, a tough opening day loss against Kanab last Friday.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes nothing goes right, and you're learning with new people. You're trying to learn and put them together, and what you think will work kind of sometimes doesn't work, and so we'll have to readjust and go from there.
You beat Kanab here last year, but they're a better team, and with Sam Morton behind center, their offense looked pretty solid.
Yeah, they're really good. Their offensive linemen do a great job, and then once you try to stop and get the run stopped, then he can pass, and so they hurt us in both directions, and they're going to be a good team.
There have to be some positives you can find. I mean, you took care of the ball fairly well, not a ton of turnovers, and there were times when your defense was working right. You stopped them.
Yeah, it's kind of like the young kids when you start throwing them in. You're going to have some mistakes. We knew that going in we'll have some mistakes. Sometimes it turns out worse than what you thought, but there's a lot of positives we can build on. Our line, for the most part, blocked really well. We'll have to make some fine-tune adjustments and move a couple of people around, but they did very well. Our running backs and stuff, when they got the ball, they seemed to run fairly hard and that. So we have some positives there that we'll build on, and then there's a few things that we'll need to adjust and hopefully put them together, and that's what we're looking for.
There were a lot of times, and we probably talked about this Friday, and that a few times, maybe more than a few times, you'd see that hole open up, but then somebody from the backside didn't get blocked just barely long enough that the back gets tackled in the backfield before hitting that hole.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with the way we're running things, timing and that, and just 1/2 of a second, it means a lot. I mean, it's a big play compared to getting sacked. So timing's got to be a little bit better, and we just need to stick with our blocks a little bit more.
This Friday, you're at Bear Lake. Last year when you took on the Bears here at home, you had a lot of yards. It was your debut, right, as a head coach in your offense, and a lot of yards but a lot of turnovers, and they opened things up and had a lot of offense.
They're a good team. They're really aggressive. They were big, and I expect that again this year. They'll come out ready to play. It is their opener, and so they'll have some mistakes, but I think that they'll come out raring to go, and we just need to settle down, run our offense, and do the things which we need to do.
Are some of those specifics, like get that timing down, hold those blocks a little longer? What are other things, and what are other things that you need to do to compete with Bear Lake?
Yeah, those are a couple of times when we passed it, I felt we could do a little bit better job on our pass completions. That would be a big one. That'd help open up the run game. And block and tackle. We didn't tackle very well. We would have 2, 3. There was times we counted up to 8 guys hitting him, and he just keeps running. So that's one of the big things we need to look on, as well as blocking and that. So
get back to some fundamentals a little bit.
Yeah. Everything is kind of like you hear all the time: block and tackle. If you can do that, then this game should be a lot easier than normal. But to seem to get that down sometimes is a little bit difficult, but that's what we're going to work on this week is blocking and tackling and getting the timing and the stuff down.
Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebel football team, thanks for your time. Good luck with the Bears this Friday.
Thank you.
This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. You're tuned in to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Chevrolet pregame show of Rich Rebel football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
You've been tuned into the pregame show, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet. We've got the Laketown Ledger, the Town and Country Realty Green Scene, and the Epic Recreation Keys of the game coming up.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Colton Hislop. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
Early Oregon-bound immigrants traveled through the Bear Lake Valley. U.S. Highway 30 basically follows the Oregon Trail. Many wagon trains stopped at Thomas L. Pegleg Smith Trading Post, located near Dingle, Idaho, for supplies. One traveler wrote of camping along Cotton Line Bear River, watching grass as tall as a man wave in the wind. Today, you don't have to ride in a wagon to visit Bear Lake Valley, but the rich history is still here to enjoy. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. We take your fun very seriously. That's why we put so much emphasis on training and experience with our mechanics at Cash Honda Yamaha. Whether you're getting it ready for an upcoming season, putting it away for the winter, having routine maintenance, or have a mechanical problem, we want to make sure that when you're ready to have fun with it, it's ready for you. Don't trust your fun to just anyone. Make sure you bring all your service work to Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Thank you very much. And now we'll have the national anthem by the cheerleaders and our pep band.
We're back at Bear Lake High School in Montpelier. 80 degrees the current temperature on our green scene, brought to you by Town & Country Realty, selling Bear Lake in Utah and Idaho. Pam Cornea, the green scene and Town & Country Realty. Rebel fans across the way, a good group of them. Some brought camping chairs, some sitting on the bleachers. And the Bear Lake fans, you can see some in the bleachers down in front of you, but a lot of fans, and again, like in the camping chairs up on the green grass to our right and to our left. A beautiful night. We had some rain and wind and some thunder earlier, but no lightning, and we'll hope that stays away. 80 degrees our current temperature. Again, the green scene brought to you by Town & Country Realty. Real quickly, the Lake Town Ledgers. We look back on the history between these two squads. They did not play against each other in football until just fairly recently. In fact, it was just 3 years ago when this rivalry got started on the football field. And Rich won the first one, 2-0, a defensive battle 3 years ago at Rich. Last year, or 2 years ago here at Bear Lake, the Bears protected the home field, won 14-0. And then last year at Rich, a 31-6 win for the Bears. So they lead the series 2-1. That's your Lake Town Ledger, brought to you by the Town of Lake Town. Good luck, Rebels, from the Mayor and Town Council of Lake Town. Some keys of the game real quick. We'll get through those. Brought to you by Epic Recreation. Make your next vacation an epic one to remember. Number one is leave the hideout. The notorious outlaws like Butch Cassidy or Billy the Kid typically had a place where they could go to escape the law, a hideout, right? From their den, they were unlikely to be caught, but they were also unable to go on the offensive. The Rebels last week finished in the red on offensive production, unable to go on the offensive. Tabiona's basketball coach Lee Gines often jests that to win, all his guys need to do is score more than the other team. Well, for Rich to do that today in Bear Country, the Rebel offense has to leave the hideout and go on the offensive. Second Epic Recreation key of the game, walk, don't run. The Bears piled up more than 300 rushing yards on the Rebel defense last year, and Matthew Hammond gained almost 230 yards on his own. We'll see some of him today. Last week against Kanab, 4 different Cowboys combined for almost 200 yards rushing. Now, whether the Bears, again, give the Rebels a healthy dose of Hammond or run by committee, Rich has to find a way to slow down Bear Lake's running attack. The Rebels must force the Bears to walk, don't run, and win the turnover battle. In last year's 31-6 loss against Bear Lake, the Rebel offense had 14 possessions. 14. 10 of those ended in turnovers. 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles, and 4 turnovers on downs. To stay in it today with the Bears, Rich has to take care of the ball and take advantage of opportunities to score. The Rebels must win the turnover battle. Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net or find us on Facebook for all your rentals in Bear Lake. That's Epic Recreation. Just about to get underway. You can hear the PA man probably fairly loud in your speaker. I've got the crowd mic turned down for the moment. We'll maybe turn that back up as the game gets going, but just where the setup is here, we're right underneath the speaker, so that's what we get to experience tonight. Part of the Friday Night Lights experience here in Bear Lake. Rebels, we'll give you the visitors' offense. The Rebel offense up front, a new starter on the line. Austin Peterson out with an injury, so we've got number 72, a junior, Colton Johnson. Number 55, a sophomore, James McKinnon. Senior, number 51, Bridger Weston. Sophomore, number 53, Hayden Weston. And sophomore, number 57, Justin Adams. Those 5 in no particular order. Quarterback is number 5, a senior, Stetson Huffaker. Running backs are junior number 8, Hayden Meek, senior number 28, Colton Hislop, and junior number 25, Jaden Grohl. And receivers, the wideouts are number 2, a senior, Flint Silva, and number 20, a senior, Kyler Wilson. The Rebels will return or receive this opening kickoff coming up in just a moment. You've been tuned in to the pregame show presented by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Chevrolet in Evanston. The Bear Lake defensive starters, we're going to have to work through these. Defensive backs are senior number 3, James Alleman, senior number 4, Ashton Carlson, and junior number 25, Matthew Hammond. We've got your whistle for the Bear Lake physical therapy opening kickoff, so we'll get back to starters in just a moment. A pooch kick that only goes about 20 yards. Rebels trying to fall on it. It squirts through, but they dive back on top of it, and Rich will have good field position. It was Hayden Meek. A late flag flies in as Meek came up with the football. The rest of the defensive starters, linebackers, are number 5, a junior, Brendan Burbank. Number 11, a junior, Jackson Garbett. Number 27, a senior, Cody King, and number 31, a senior, Dalton Moss. And defensive tackles, number 63, a senior, Kaysen Culver, number 75, a junior, Briston Schreiber, and number 77, a senior, Kenny Moore. Rebels will start this first possession with very good field position after that penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Rich will start near midfield at its own 46-yard line. First quarter. No score. The Rebel JV team won 14-8. Got a touchdown late in the game to go ahead. Man in motion, and the give by Huffaker to the man up the middle. It was Meek in motion. Hislop right up the gut, got the handoff, and lost about half a yard. Rebels will face a second down and 11. They'll actually spot him back at the 45, so a loss of 1. Get that crowd mic turned back up. I want to thank Logan Johnson running our camera tonight. Logan, zoom in just a bit on that action, would you? Rebels with trips right, one receiver left. Huffaker under center, throws out to the right side. May have been deflected. The catch is made, and an immediate hit brought down back around the 40. Progression was stopped probably closer to the 43 on the catch. And I thought it was Meek that came away from the pileup, but I thought it was the pass I thought went to Kyler Wilson. Either way, the pass complete for a loss of 3 to the 42-yard line.
13 for Rich.
So a third down and 3 for the Rebels. Offense last week, negative 32 yards unofficially. Meek in motion from left to right. Huffaker takes the snap from under center, runs right, and has nowhere to go. Bottled up and brought down. He did get back near the line of scrimmage at the 42, so no gain. This was much how the JV game went for most of the time. Teams found a little offensive success at times, but for most of the game, it was no yards and a cloud of dust back to the line of scrimmage. So a fourth down and 14 for the Rebels after they go minus 4 yards on their first 3 downs. Rich lined up to punt this one away. 2 Bears back to receive. And Huffaker does the punting duties for Rich. A low snap. He bobbles it, then picks it up, runs right, looks for some room, tries to split through a couple defenders, and he's brought down at the 35. Not a great start for the Rebels. It started well on the penalty and good field position, but quickly has turned the other way for the Bears at home. New field, new season. And Bear Lake has a first down and 10 after that turnover on downs for Rich. At the Rebel 36-yard line, 9:51 left here in the first quarter. Just underway. No score on the Station on Main scoreboard. Tusher in the shotgun takes the snap and gives up the gun. Dalton Moss works his way forward and picks up a couple. Colton Hislop in on the tackle. Moss picks up about 4. And the Bears have a second down and 6. Rebel 32-yard line. Rich last week, at times defensively, they slowed down Kanab, but as shown, as demonstrated by the score, a 40-0 loss, they didn't stop them much. From the shotgun again, Tusher, long throw down the right sideline, wide open, easy catch. James Alleman. Rebels bit on the play fake, and Alleman all by himself, a 32-yard touchdown pass from Owen Tusher, the Rich County import to Bear Lake, to James Alleman, the senior wide receiver. 32-yard touchdown. And the Bear Lake Bears take an early lead, 6-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Just 2 plays on that drive. Ashton Carlson holding. He was their quarterback last year. And a kick is low. The Rebels able to get in, put some pressure on, and the PAT no good. 6-0 Bears. We're just underway at Bear Lake. 9:04 left in the first. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. The first quarter is brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph, the place to eat and drink. They're open after every Rebel home game. Rebel volleyball tonight taking on Preston. They beat Mountain View earlier today in 5 sets and will continue play at the Cokeville tournament tomorrow. We'll have all of the Rebel matches on mylocalradio.com. Here in Montpelier, the Bears strike quickly. They took possession after the Rebels had a low snap on a punt attempt, turned it over on downs. And the Bears start at the Rebel 36. This time a low line drive kickoff in and through the hands of Conk. Scooped up by Colton Hislop down the right sideline and out around the 30. He's brought down. So Rich will have, again, fairly decent field position. See if they can do a little bit more with it on this possession. It's like they'll spot Hislop at the 28-yard line. That's where Rich will start possession number 2, the first one. A 3 and out, and again, a low snap resulted in a turnover on downs as Huffaker was tackled in the backfield. Again, our first quarter is brought to you by the Crawford Trough. Rich looking for a comprehensive family dental first down. Meek in motion from left to right. Huffaker takes the snap, runs to his right. He's hit from behind. Looked like he was in a throwing motion. The line judge on the Rebel sideline says, yes, that is an incomplete pass. But that pressure from the backside so fast. And one of the issues the Rebels had last week against Kanab was timing. And that may have been a timing issue, whether somebody just missed that block, maybe it was a blitz, or the play took a little too long to develop. That was a lot of heat coming in on Huffaker from behind.
Looks like the call on the field was a fumble on the play for a loss.
So they do end up calling it a fumble and a loss of 3 back to the 25-yard line. The line judge on that far sideline emphatically said incomplete. Huffaker back, and the ball pops loose. He was turning, looking to hand off, and no protection from the line. Ball squirts out, fielded or picked up at the 20-yard line by the senior Cody King, number 27. So the Rebels have run 5 plays and got negative yardage and fumble it. Give it back to the Bears at the Rebels' own 20-yard line. So, again, excellent field position for Bear Lake. When the Rebels force a turnover, it's brought to you by Garden City, where families play. When they give the turnover, when they give the ball away, we don't want to talk about that. Tusher throws out to his right. He's got Tiegan Criswell at the 10, follows a block, hurdles a man into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. 3 plays offensively for Bear Lake and 2 touchdowns already. This time a 20-yard strike from Owen Tusher to Tiegan Criswell. Owen Tusher 2 for 2 for 52 yards and 2 scores.
62, Jake Smith set for the PHE.
And Bear Lake will line up to kick the extra point again. Again, a low kick and hits a helmet, one of the players on the field. So here in the Crawford Trough first quarter, 12-0, Bear Lake up 2 scores. We'll return on the Wildlife at mylocalradio.com. The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper. Well, once again, Bear Lake strikes quickly and fails on the extra point attempt, but the Bears lead 12-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. A light rain falling here in Montpelier. And the Rebels with one giveaway already. The Bears have started at the Rebel 36 and the Rebel 20. So 2 good field positions. Doing the kicking duties, I thought it was number 75, Briston Schreiber. The kickoff gets past the Rebels and into the end zone. That's an automatic touchback, and Rich will start 1st and 10 at the 20. Rebels so far offensively, negative yardage. That's what they finished with last week against Kanab. We'll take a look at scores around the rest of the state. Duchesne already played this week. Beat Carbon last night in a strange football score, 11-0. Duchesne with the victory. Rebels from their own 20-yard line. 8:11 left in the Crawford Trial first quarter. Huffaker back looking to throw. Gets good protection. Throws right sideline for Kyler Wilson. He makes the catch. Immediate hit, and Wilson is brought down, but a gain of 7 or 8. Maybe the 26-yard line is where they'll spot it, so a 6-yard gain for the Rebel offense. Kyler Wilson with his 2nd catch of the season. Rebels huddle up, come back up to the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down and 4. Huffaker 2 of 6 for 3 yards. 2 of 3 for 3 yards. Escapes 1 tackle after dropping back to pass. Lowers the shoulder and gains a couple of yards after scrambling free and gets near a 1st down. So Huffaker, who dropped back to pass, had nowhere to go, able to make something out of nothing, picks up 3 to the 29, and the Rebels have a 3rd down and short, looking for that first comprehensive family dental 1st down. Our camera tonight brought to you by Bear Lake Realty, Gary and Amber McKee in Garden City. Huffaker under center. 1 back behind him. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Stetson keeps it himself right up the gut, and he follows the big buckwheat Justin Adams forward to the 34 to move the chains. There is your first comprehensive family dental 1st down. Dr. Sean Grohl providing quality family dentistry since 1997. To the 34-yard line and a 1st down, 5 yards for Huffaker on the keeper. Bear Lake has run 3 offensive plays and scored twice. They failed on 2 extra point conversions, and the Rebels trail 12-0. Meek in motion left to right. He stops behind the line, cuts upfield, gets the handoff, but he is stuffed. Not even quite back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. Hayden Meek, 4 carries for 11 yards last week against the Cowboys. And, yeah, they'll spot him at a loss of about a yard. Rebels attacking right to left at mylocalradio.com. Bears in the home blue jerseys, white numbers. Huffaker running right, fakes the pitch, keeps it himself, breaks a tackle, breaks another, drives forward across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Will bring up a 3rd and long. Part of Huffaker's jersey, or maybe the shirt under his jersey, now on the turf. It got ripped apart. They'll spot him at the 38. So a 4-yard gain. Huffaker with 12 yards on 4 carries so far in this game. He's finding a little bit of running room, and he's a good runner. He's got a low center of gravity, very strong. We'll see what he can do, and the Rebels can do here on 3rd down and about 7, maybe a long 6. 1 in the backfield. Huffaker back looking to throw. Looks left, nowhere to go. Rolls right, scrambles. Now he tucks, and he's going to run. He's just tripped up a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Depends on the spot. He got tripped up and dove forward and got real close. Out at the 43-yard line. He got 5, needed 6. And if nothing else, this drive has shown the Rebels that they can move the football a little bit against this Bears defense, something that Rich had no success with on their first 4 plays of the game. But these last 5 or 6 plays, they've found some success. A 4th down and 1 near midfield, Rebels' own 43-yard line, and they line up to go for it here. We'll see if they do some kind of a hard count. Meek in motion. Nope, they go to Huffaker. He drives forward. Hislop from behind puts his hands on Huffaker's back and helps push him along. A flag dropped in as Huffaker is marked down in 1st down territory at the 45-yard line. And it's the back judge a face mask, personal foul against the Bears. So Huffaker out to the 45, a 2-yard gain. Tack on 15 yards on the penalty. That's a 30 yards in penalties against the Bears. Yeah. And the Rebels have a 1st and 10 in Bear Lake territory at the 40-yard line. Huffaker back to throw. Throws to his right. Ball tipped. Flint Silva battling for it. And also right there was Matthew Hammond. Silva had to kind of play defensive back as the pass was almost picked off by Matt Hammond. So a 2nd and 10 at the 40. Huffaker 2 of 4 for 3 yards so far today. The Rebels have moved the ball on this possession and look to keep moving forward. Two receivers left, 2 wide right. Huffaker under the shot or under the center. Haven't seen him in the shotgun yet today. Rebels, Hayden Meek moved a little early. This will be a false start against Rich. And on a 2nd and 10, you add 5 more yards to that. That's going to make this a tough 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th down, 4 down territory if the Rebels can get close. First penalty of the night assessed against the Rebels. Again, the JV team scored late at the end of the first half to tie it at 8. Nobody scored through most of the entire second half until Rich put another touchdown on the board right before the end of the game. Jaden Rowell punched in a touchdown run and put the Rebels up 14-8. JV got the win. Huffaker from the shotgun. Hislop on his left hip. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Long count. Huffaker takes the snap, gives to Hislop up the middle, and he's immediately wrapped up, lowers the shoulder pads, drives forward, and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. So Hislop, 2 carries for -1 yard so far today. This is the Crawford Trough first quarter. 12-0, Bears with the lead on the Station on Main scoreboard. Under 4 minutes to go in this opening period. Invite you to stay tuned for our Ellingford Brothers halftime show. Give you some Rich County government first half highlights and have your Town of Woodruff standout student, Ellie Johnson, talking a little bit about rodeo and her sophomore year. 3rd down and 15 for the Rebels. Hislop on Huffaker's right hip. Bears showing pressure. 2 guys coming in from the right side. Huffaker takes a low snap, runs right and right into the pressure. And he's brought down clear back at the 45-yard line.
4th down and 25.
We'll bring up a 4th and about 25 yards to go, and surely we'll see the punt team here. So Huffaker, let's see, loses 15 on that play. Part of that is, of course, he started in the shotgun, went backwards to try and get away from the defense. 9 plays drive for the Rebels. A low line drive kick out toward the Bear Lake sideline, rolls out about the 30. And that's where Bear Lake will start this drive, their first possession that doesn't start in Rebel territory. Of course, the way they've moved the ball, extra space maybe just means extra yards unless Rich can make some quick adjustments here. Bears will start from their own 28-yard line. Rebels, a good possession there. They held it for almost 5.5 minutes. 2:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Brought to you by the Crawford Trough, open after every Rebel home game. The place to eat and drink. Owen Tusher, number 12, the quarterback. He's in the shotgun. 1 wide receiver isolated out wide to the left. Tiegan Criswell goes in motion, gets the handoff, running left, finds a hole, breaks free, picks up about 10 left side, and he's finally brought down at about the first down marker, maybe a little bit more. Tiegan Criswell with a big gain. He ran last year 9 times for 35 yards against the Rebels and scored 1 time. And on this possession, or on that play, out to the 39-yard line, an 11-yard run. Criswell has touched it twice. 1 reception, 20 yards and a score, and that run for 11 yards. A 1st and 10 for the Bears. Tusher trying to fake something, runs trying to get away from Riley Taylor and throws to the sideline. Flag flies. That'll be an intentional grounding. Taylor brought him down clear back at about the 20, so that'll be a huge loss for the Bears. Plus, they'll lose the down. It'll be 2nd and about 20, maybe 30 after the penalty yards are walked off. I think Tusher might have been watching too much NFL football, thinking, oh, I'm out of the tackle box, so I can just chuck this thing. He didn't get it past the line of scrimmage, and it doesn't matter in high school anyway. So the penalty took place at about the 20, and it looks like that's where they'll spot it. That's a 19-yard loss. Actually, they'll put it right down about the 19-yard line, so a 20-yard negative play. Tusher back, sets up the screen, throws and finds Dalton Moss. Rebels sandwich that quickly. A flag flies in from the far sideline as Moss picked up about 7 to the 27, 26-yard line, and we'll find out what this flag is. An illegal man downfield, so the Bears will push themselves back a little further with that. I said illegal. It's an eligible man downfield. Now the Rebels would have a decision to make of sorts here, and it looks like that's the decision. They've just indicated that the penalty is declined, because if they accept the penalty, it would be still 2nd down and about 35 to go. Instead, they accept the play that took the Bears out to the 27-yard line. So that was an 8-yard pass and catch to Dalton Moss. Brings up 3rd and 22. They need midfield the 49 to get a first down. Tusher fakes the handoff, throws deep down the right sideline, and Hammond makes the catch for the first down and more. Pressure was right there. Hayden Meek with the coverage, but Matt Hammond, the height advantage, and he just went up and brought it down. So a big gain for the Bears offense all the way to the Rebel 42-yard line. A 31-yard pass and catch to Matt Hammond. He's lined up wide on the right side as a receiver. 2 receivers stacked left. Tusher, quick shovel pass out to the left side, and Teagan Criswell. A block in the back as Criswell gets around the corner. The flag flies in. He picks up about 10, but it's coming back. The block in the back was right at the line of scrimmage. They may call it a hold, depending on interpretation. It is going to be called a hold against the Bears. So that'll push them back instead of a 2nd and real short, like a yard to go. That's 60 yards in penalties against the Bears, and the Rebels have declined one of the penalties. 1:12 left to go in the Crawford Trough first quarter. Hold took place at the 42, no, the 41-yard line, so 10 yards back from there. Bear Lake back in its own territory at the 49. Bears lead 12-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. And they come up to the line of scrimmage. Ball on the left hash. Criswell in motion. Tusher takes the snap, misdirection, gives to the man coming from the left, and a big gain by Jackson Garbett, the junior, finally wrapped up and brought down at the Rebel 36.
Numbers 20 and 10 in on the tackle for Rich. That'll bring up 2nd down and a long 3.
Kyler Wilson in on the tackle. I think Hayden Meek in there as well. So from the 49 to the 36, a 15-yard gain for Jackson Garbett, a junior. That misdirection was an impressive play. Tusher looking to throw. He goes over the middle. He's got his man. Caught. It's Garbett. Breaks a tackle. He breaks free at the 20 to the 15, 10, 5. Dives for the end zone. No, he stepped out at the 2. Just short of the end zone. as he went to dive, the line judge was right there on top of it, and he saw that foot go out at the 2-yard lines. Nonetheless, a big gain of about 34 yards down to the 2. Takes us to the end of the first quarter with the Bears on top 12-0 on the Crawford Trough in Randolph first quarter. 12-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard, and we'll be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
Back for second quarter action, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff for all your propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. Garbett marked out of bounds at the 2, so a 34-yard pass and catch. Owen Tusher has started this game 5 of 5 for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. His first 2 completions and attempts went for scores. They're lined up at the 2-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Tusher in the shotgun. Takes the snap and gives to Criswell, who came in motion from the right side. No gain. The Rebels get some good defensive line penetration. Stuff him. And Criswell goes nowhere.
1-yard gain. Second and goal from the 1-yard line for the Bears.
So a second down and goal for the Bears. Quick no huddle. Tusher takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws out to his left, and throws high but incomplete. James Alleman, the intended receiver. Flint Silva went for the tip. He cut in front, and it may have been just enough to distract Alleman from making the catch. Third down and goal for the Bears at the Rebel, about the 1.5-yard line. They huddle up this time and see what they can come up with. That's Owen Tusher's first incompletion of the game. And in through the uprights. So 19-0 Bears lead after that 2-yard touchdown run by Tiegan Criswell. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
9 plays, 72 yards, 3 minutes, 15 seconds off the clock. PAT was good, and the Bears lead 19-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. I thank Logan Johnson running our camera here tonight. And the Rebels set to return this kickoff. Bear Lake with the gray pants, gray helmet, Blue jerseys, Rebels gray pants, blue helmet, white jerseys. And here's Schreiber with the kickoff. A low line drive. Colton Hislop fields it on the run at the 20. Has a crease and dives forward across the 35 to about the 40. And about a 20-yard return for Colton Hislop. We'll see where they spot it. Either way, Rich will have decent field position to start this drive. The Rebels' first possession, 3 and out. Second possession, fumbled on its first play. And then the last possession, Rich went 9 plays before getting sacked a couple of times, and the stall drive, or the drive stalled. So Rich starting from its own 39-yard line, 11:23 left in this first half. Second quarter is brought to you by T7 Propane and Woodruff. For all your propane needs, 435-793-4208. 2 receivers left, no, 3 trips to the left side. That's the short side of the field, ball on the left hash. Huffaker in the shotgun. He takes the snap, and pressure comes before he can do anything with it. He's brought down back at about the 30. Cody King applied the pressure, and Huffaker sacked for the second time tonight. Clear back at the 30-yard line, a 9-yard loss. That's 24 yards lost. And I think in high school stats that counts against rushing yards for the team and against Stetson Huffaker's rushing yardage. He had 19 yards in positive yardage, but minus 24 on the 2 sacks. Making motion from left to right. Huffaker takes the snap, fakes up the middle, keeps it himself, and dives out across the 30 to the 31 for a short gain. 1 yard. Culver and Criswell in on the tackle, and it's 3rd and about 19 for Rich. The ball spotted just out at the 31-yard line. They need the 48 to move the chains. So a 3rd and 17, really, to be more accurate. First half, Rebels trail 19-0 here at Bear Lake. Rebels next week will have a bye. Originally on the schedule was Altamont, but the Longhorns didn't get enough interest in the program, not enough participants, so they didn't fill the football team this year. And in motion is Meek. Huffaker throws it out to Hayden, makes the catch, stutter steps and dodges one man, but then a gang of Bears brings him down at the 34-yard line. Huffaker efficient on his, good on his completion percentage, 3 of 5, that's 60%, but just 6 yards after that 3-yard completion to Hayden Meek. And the Rebels facing a 4th and 15. Line up to punt it away. A high snap. Huffaker gets to it. Gets off a high wobbly kick. Fair catch called for and made at the 39-yard line by Jackson Garbett. So the Bears will take over in their own territory at the, they spot it at the 40 here in the second quarter. 9:18 left in this T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Rebels looking to force a Garden City turnover here. They've completed 1 comprehensive family dental first down. Tusher in the shotgun. He's missed on just 1 pass attempt out of 6 so far. Takes the snap, looking left, gives back right, and Cody King works his way up the middle across the 45 near the 50-yard line and close to a first down. Line judges come in from the sidelines, and I think, they both agree it's a first down. So King, on his first carry, goes for 10 yards and moves the chains out to midfield at the 50. Hammond wide right. Ashton Carlson, last year's quarterback, wide to the left side. Tusher takes the snap, gives up the middle. Dalton Moss broke 1 tackle and then was stood up and driven back. They'll give him forward progress to about the 46-yard line. And then what is the penalty flag?
5-yard face mask penalty.
A 5-yard face mask, or inadvertent face mask against the Rebels.
2nd down and 3.
Moss picked up 3. Add the 5-yard penalty. And it's 2nd down and 3 at the Rebel 43-yard line. Tusher again in the shotgun. The man on his right hip. Takes the snap, pitches right side. He's got Cody King driving his legs, keeping those legs churning inside the 40 to the 35-yard line, and that'll move the chains for the Bear Lake Bears.
First down.
Cody King running right, becoming the workhorse on this drive. They'll spot him down at the 34. A 9-yard gain. King, 2 carries, 19 yards on this, just on this drive alone. Clock running down to just over 18 minutes left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. 19-0, Bears with the lead on the Station on Main scoreboard. A 1st and 10 at the Rebel 34-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Tusher with a man on his left hip, 2 receivers right. Takes the snap, fakes to Criswell, throws deep down the right sideline, and it's a little too deep, tipped at the last second. Hayden Meek came in and applied some contact to keep Matt Hammond from making that catch on the right sideline in the end zone. You can see Owen Tusher, boy, he's got a strong arm.
Intercepted by the Rebels.
Threw that one 40 yards in the air, but comes incomplete, and it sounds like it came down. Hayden Meek with the football and an interception. I did not see that, but that is the outcome of turnover. Brought to you by Garden City, where families play. Hayden Meek with the interception. And Rich has a 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line as he caught that in the end zone. Second quarter, 7:48 left here in the quarter. Rebels, some movement, some not. And whistles blow it dead. Not sure what happened there. Did Rich actually get the whistle to even start the play? I don't know. A second down? Maybe a miscommunication on the snap count. It ends up in a loss of 1. And it's 2nd down and 11. Back at the 19. Ball right in the middle of the field. Huffaker under center. Trips to the right side. 1 man wide left. Bears showing pressure up the middle. Huffaker runs to his right. Pitches late. Looking for Hislop. Ball out of bounds. Should be Rebel football at the 15. And that is the indication from the line judge. The option timing and the pitch spacing relation just not quite on target there. Plus all the pressure from the Bears. That's back at the 14-yard line, a loss of 5. Make it a loss of 4. They'll spot it at the 15. 3rd down and 15 for the Rebels. Huffaker in the shotgun. Bears again showing pressure and a false start. Bears have been bringing pressure all day long, and somehow in the secondary they just have the speed to stay with Rebel receivers, so there hasn't been anything open. That'll push Rich back to the 10, a second false start of the evening. 15 yards in penalties against the Rebels. Trips to the left. Criswell coming in on the edge. Pressure up the middle. Gets to Huffaker. He's spun down at the 5. And again, there's just no time to even try to do anything. Huffaker gets the snap, and he's either running for his life or he's just got to chuck it downfield and hope for the best. And so Huffaker takes the sack. They'll spot it back at the 5, a loss of 10. And you see the fruits of a young team last year taking its punches. So the Bears last year were so young and beat the Rebels, but only won 1 game on the season. And you see the fruits of that is how tough they are this year, a year older and more mature. Rebels get off a decent punt, takes a bit of a Rebel bounce to the 45-yard line. So Bear Lake takes over at the Rebel 45. This is the Bears' 3rd possession of the game that'll start in Rebel territory. And you go back to that 2014 season when the Rebels won state, went 9-3 that year, and beat Diamond Ranch 20-0 in the championship game. This was one of those things, the average starting field position, that made a big difference for the Rebels. Their defense was so solid that they would often do what the Bears just did. Force a punt deep in the opponent's own territory and then start near midfield or better. And the Bears getting that opportunity here in the second quarter with 6.5 left to go in the period. Tusher fakes the handoff looks to throw, does, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Tiegan Criswell. And Criswell looks at his hands like, how did I not catch that one? It popped up off his helmet, and the Rebels had a brief chance to try and intercept it, but couldn't come down with it. A 2nd down and 10. Bears again at the Rebel 45-yard line. Tusher completed his first 5 for 125 yards. He's missed on his last 3, including an interception. In the shotgun, on his left hip is Brendan Burbank. Snap, give to Tiegan Criswell. Yeah, left side, and some pressure in the backfield. The Rebels get to him. Riley Carrillo got deep in the backfield and brought Criswell down. Great open field tackle. Criswell went further back to try to get away from Carrillo, but it worked in the Rebels' favor, and Criswell loses about 10. Back to the 48-yard line of the Bears, so make it a 7-yard loss for Criswell, who has a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown already in the game. 3rd and 17. Bears taking their time. I heard a hurry shout from the sideline. They may be pushing that 40-second play clock, and Coach Messerly recognizes that, calls for a timeout. With 5:36 left here in the second quarter, we'll take a quick timeout as well. Brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208. 4208.
Third and 17 for the Bears offense at their own 48-yard line. Tusher takes the snap from the shotgun, sets up the screen, gets it to Matt Hammond around the right side, breaks a tackle or two. He's got the first down and a little more. Finally brought down by the Rebels at about the 30.
33-yard line.
They'll spot it at the 33-yard line, it appears. Was it Flint Silva who finally made the tackle, or Kyler Wilson? Kyler Wilson was the one that finally got Hammond down at, again, now the 33. 19 yards for Matt Hammond on that screen. He has 50 receiving yards on 2 receptions. Tusher takes the snap, fakes the handoff to his right, then rolls left, throws. He's got Criswell at the 19, caught and breaks a tackle to the 15 to the 10, finally brought down at about the 11-yard line. And taking nothing away from Ashton Carlson, who did a fine job as quarterback a year ago for this Bears team, but you can see why Owen Tusher has earned his spot as the starting quarterback for this Bears team. He looks like a polished passer. Down to the 11, a 22-yard pickup. Criswell, a dangerous weapon. A touchdown running the football, plus 42 yards, and a touchdown receiving the football. Tusher in the shotgun, brings King in motion. The snap, throws out to the flat right side. He's got Jackson Garbett. Quick, big hit by Hayden Meek. And Garbett held on to it down to about the 2-yard line. Close to a first down. That's 9 yards on the completion. Tusher, 8 of 11 for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns with 1 interception in this first half. 4:17 left in this second quarter. Tusher takes the snap, gives right side. Cody King picking his way forward, tries to drive through a pile, but the Rebels push him back. He got down to the 1 yard line. A 1 yard gain.
It looks like it will be first and goal for the Bears.
It's enough for a first down for the Bears. So they have a first and goal. The run by Cody King, give him 1 yard. He's got 3 carries for 20 yards gained. The Station on Main scoreboard. Bear Lake already on top, 19-0 with under 4 to go in this T7 Propane in Woodruff second quarter. Looking for the Dr. McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game. Tusher in the shotgun. Man in motion, takes the snap, starts right, gives left, and walking in is Jackson Garbett for his first touchdown of the day. He went in almost untouched. Some quick footwork to slide by the Rebel defense. And that drive, 7 plays to go 45 yards. They converted a 3rd and long. Bears line up to kick the extra point, would make it 26-0. The hold is good. The kick is low, but just high enough to go through the uprights. And the Bears lead 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll take a quick break and be back with more of this second quarter action on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
26-0, a 7-play drive that went 45 yards. 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Extra point good, and the Bears lead 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Your halftime show coming up shortly, brought to you by Ellingford Brothers. 3:35 left, and the Rebels will have possession. See if they can get something going here late in this first half. The Rebel counterparts on the JV team scored late in the first half and then again late in the second half. A squib kick and 2 Rebels collide, but one of them brings it in. I think it was Hayden Meek and I'm not sure who that was. Logan Muirbrook recovers the kick. A smart play by Muirbrook. That's a live football. And he drops on it, and they'll spot it at the 39-yard line. Rebels starting field position has been near midfield, their own 46, their own 28, their own 20, their own 39, their own 20, and now again their own 39. Rebels leading rusher so far, Stetson Huffaker, 8 carries, 19 yards, but he's been sacked 3 times for minus 34. Huffaker takes the snap, looks to throw, heaves it out left side, looking for Meek, in and out of his hands, incomplete. Just went right through his fingertips and fell to the turf. That stops the clock at 3:27 left here in the Crawford Trough in Randolph. No, excuse me, the Crawford Trough is the first quarter. This is the T7 Propane in Woodruff, second quarter. A beautiful evening here in Bear Lake. Lights are on for Friday night football. Kickoff temperature was 80 degrees on the Town & Country Realty green scene. Huffaker in the shotgun. Takes the snap, a little bit less pressure, has some time, scrambles forward. He stepped up away from some pressure and ran right into some more pressure. Back at about the 38-yard line. So he didn't lose much. Yeah, loss of 1 on the play. Huffaker's been sacked 4 times now in this first half. And that brings up a 3rd down and 11. 3 minutes left to go before the half, and we'll have your Rich County Government first half highlights and the Town of Woodruff standout student. We'll talk with Ellie Johnson about her sophomore year coming up during our Ellingford Brothers halftime show. Stay tuned. Trips to the right side for the Rebels. 1 receiver left, actually 2 out left. That's one too many. Skill guy out there, and An illegal shift to boot. So the Rebels with a couple mistakes on that one player, illegal substitution rather, is the call. Rich also tried to get a timeout, and it looks like they did get the timeout. Not sure if they got the timeout before the penalty. It doesn't look like it as they've walked off the 5 yards. On the penalty, makes it a 3rd and 16. They'll spot it back about the 33-yard line. We'll take this moment to thank one of our sponsors and see the Bear Lake Realty fan cam. Bear Lake Realty. Gary and Amber McKee in Garden City. You can visit bearlakerealty.com. Give them a call today, 435-946-8888. That's 435-946-8888. Gary and Amber, the highest volume realtor in the area. The most seasoned realtor as well. He's been around for 30-plus years. Huffaker heaves it down the near sideline, tiptoe on the sideline. Flint Silva makes the catch at about the 45-yard line. Thank Bear Lake Realty and get us back to our live camera. So a long pass by Huffaker, caught by Flint Silva on the sideline. They'll spot it right at the 45-yard line, a 12-yard gain. Silva's first catch of this season. Had one catch for a couple of yards last year. And the Rebels line up to punt with 2.5 left in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. Trey Walker wide out to the left side to try and cover this punt. Huffaker calls for it on a 4th and 3. Gets a good snap, a nice boot. Will be fielded about the 20-yard line by Matt Hammond, running to his right. Breaks a tackle, flag down at about the 37, which is right about where Hammond was brought down. Rebels tripped him up, and they spot him at the 30. Though this near sideline judge says the 35. I think that far sideline judge says about the same, but the flag down 2 yards in front of that. The thinking, I think, on the punt there, you're too deep in your own territory to go for it on 4th and 3, and you don't want to give Bear Lake another short field, possibly try to keep them out of the end zone one more time at the end of this first half. So the Bears called for a hold. Hammond's return pretty much negated. They'll spot it back at the 15 or at the 25-yard line. And the Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 25. 2:20 left to go. First half, Bears already lead by 4 scores, 26-0. Stacked receivers left, 2 stacked right. Give up the middle, Jackson Garbett. Tripped up, no, not Garbett. Dalton Moss up the middle left side behind his left guard out to the 29-yard line. A 4-yard gain. See what Coach Messerly dials up here on a 2nd down and 6 with time running down in the first half. Is he thinking put one more on the board or just eat up the clock and be content with a 4-touchdown lead? 2 receivers right, in tight, 2 stacked left as well, not too wide out. 1 man in the backfield, left hip of Owen Tusher, takes the snap, fakes a handoff, fires left side. It's caught by James Alleman. He breaks a tackle, breaks another. Flag is down, and he bounces out to the right side. Kyler Wilson slices in and brings him down. Good tackle by Wilson in the open field. He took a perfect angle. A flag is down clear back at the 23-yard line in the area of holding, and that would bring this play back. A personal foul face mask against the Bears.
Personal foul, face mask on the Bears.
And one thing the Bears can look at tonight, I mean, there's definitely some positive. The offense moving the football. But that's 6 penalties for a total of 90 yards. against the Bears, and the Rebels declined what would have been another 10 yards of penalties earlier tonight. Clock running at 1:30 left to go on the Station on Main scoreboard, and the Bears leading 26-0. Bears come up to the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 26. Tusher fakes the handoff, looks over the middle, throws. Great catch by Criswell up on top. He went up high to bring that pass in. Great hands, and Criswell just shy of the first down. Colton Hislop on the coverage. Criswell out to the 33-yard line. An 18-yard pass and catch from Tusher to Criswell. Down under a minute to go, and in motion. Tusher back looking to throw, flushed right. Throws late, and it's just caught by Cody King. Spins out of one tackle out near midfield to the 47-yard line, and the Bears take a timeout with 36 seconds left to go. They'll spot King down at the 47 indeed. That's 14 more yards. And let me do some quick addition here on Owen Tusher. 10 of 13. He completed his first 5, missed 3 in a row. Now he's completed 5 consecutive passes. 193 plus 14 is 207. 10 of 13, 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick for Owen Tusher. And the interception was one he kind of threw up for grabs deep in the end zone, and the Rebels made a great play to intercept it. That interception by Hayden Meek, probably your top candidate right now for the Rebels' McKay Frankham Dental Services Precision Play of the Game. McKay Frankham Dental Services, dental care at reasonable rates for the whole family. Call 789-8910. That's an easy number to remember, 789-8910 for McKay Frankham Dental Services at 170 Arrowhead Drive in Evanston. The Bears at midfield, their own 47-yard line, a 1st and 10. 36 seconds left to go in this first half, and judging by the fact they just called a timeout, I'm guessing they're going to try and put one more score on the board. Tusher in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks left, throws deep down the right sideline. It's a jump ball and knocked loose at the last second. Kyler Wilson on the coverage, good defense. And pass intended for Matt Hammond. 6 seconds run off the clock, brings up a 2nd and 10. Bears from their own 47-yard line. They scored on their first possession after Rich had a low snap, turned it over on downs. The Bears started at the Rebel 36. One play later, the Rebels fumbled, and one play later, the Bears scored again. Tusher found Criswell for a 20-yard touchdown pass and catch. 2nd and 10, 30 seconds left in the first half. Second quarter brought to you by T7 Propane and Woodruff. Ball on the right hash. Garbett in motion. Tusher hands to Criswell coming from the right side, and the Rebels bottle him up and bring him down. Riley Carrillo and Justin Adams on the stop. A loss of a yard for Criswell. And did Tusher just spike the ball, kill it to stop the clock at 14 seconds left? On 3rd down, he did. So that brings up a 4th down. And if you're the Rebels, I think you send 3 or 4 guys back deep. Meek and Silva already back deep, about 25 yards from the line of scrimmage. 14 seconds, it's 4th and 11. Tusher throws right, or pitches right. Garbett throws back to Tusher, and he'll try to run. Breaks one tackle, out across the 50 to the 45, steps out of bounds at the Rebel 40 with 5 seconds left to go in the first half. So Tusher, the receiver on that play, that was his listed position a year ago. A 13-yard catch for Tusher. Tusher showing he can do it all. Hasn't run much tonight. He's relied on his running backs to do that. Stacked receivers on the left sideline for this Bear Lake offense. 5 seconds to go till the half. Tusher throws deep down the right side. Looking for Hammond. It's a jump ball. He makes the catch, but the Rebels stop him at the 10. Kyler Wilson on the coverage. Hammond makes the catch, but is held short of the end zone. So at the half, it's 26-0 Bears on top big. This second quarter has been brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff for all your propane needs, 435-793-4208. We'll take a quick break and be back with the Ellingford Bros halftime show after this.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Colton Hislop. Thanks for tuning in to Rich High School Football on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on mylocalradio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch, Saddle, and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch, Saddle, and Boot, Feed and Supply Store.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit bearlakerealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home to the Rich Rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the Rich Rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net. A lopsided first half has the Bears on top 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Bears scored on some big plays, and they opened it wide open right from the start, their first possession. We'll tell you a bit more about it. Welcome to the Ellingford Bros halftime show. Ellingford Brothers of Evanston. Visit ellingfordbros.com. Let's take a look at some first half highlights and stats when we return. Those will be brought to you by Rich County Government. Stay tuned. Again, 26-0 at the half. The Bears lead.
The best cement comes from Ellingford Brothers in Evanston. They've been mixing cement for every type of job for generations. Major construction, road and bridge, cement blocks, foundations, sidewalks, curb and gutter, cement steps, septic tanks, and water troughs. No job is too large or too small. Make sure you get the best quality cement available at the best prices. Always get your cement from Ellingford Brothers. Call today. Ellingford Brothers, we know cement. 307-789-1515.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
A rough first half for the Rich Rebels offensively and defensively. Welcome to the halftime show brought to you by Ellingford Brothers of Evanston. The best in specialized services including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. That's Ellingford Brothers of Evanston. Let's take a look at some first half highlights and stats presented by Rich County Government. Rebels with a championship cause. Recapping that first half, the Rebels' first possession, 3 and out, a low snap led to Huffaker trying to do something. He didn't have time to get the punt off, tried to run and was tackled deep at the Rebel 36-yard line. The Bears' first possession, 2 plays in, Tusher found Alleman for a 32-yard touchdown pass. Rebels had 1 play on their next possession, fumbled it, and the Bears capitalized again. 1 play. Owen Tusher to Tiegan Criswell, 20-yard touchdown pass. Rebels' next possession was their best by far of the night. They started at their own 20 and got all the way out to their own. They actually got into Bear Lake territory at the 45 before being pushed back. So ended the drive at their own 45-yard line and punted it away. Bear Lake's next possessions, they scored on their first 3 possessions. That next possession, 9 plays, 72 yards, and they made the extra point. So it was 19-0 at that point. Rebels punted a 3-and-out on their next possession, and then the Bears going deep. Hayden Meek comes up with what so far is your McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game, an interception in the end zone. An interception in the end zone that stopped another Bear Lake drive. In fact, other than the final drive, final possession of the night of the first half where the Bears just ran out of time, that interception by Meek was the lone possession for Bear Lake when the Bears did not score. Their next possession, Jackson Garbutt, a 1-yard touchdown run to finish off a 7-play, 45-yard drive. And the Bears offense, by my stats, has tallied up a total of 302 yards of offense. Not much on the ground, but they haven't gone to the ground a whole lot. 52 yards rushing, led by Cody King's 3 carries, 20 yards. Jackson Garbutt, 2 carries, 16 yards. Tiegan Criswell with a 2-yard touchdown run as well. It's been mostly through the air for the Bears. Owen Tusher, 11 of 16, 237 yards. Plus he has a reception for 13 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. It's a 4-touchdown lead for the Bears, 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We'll take a quick break. We got more of your halftime show coming up, including the Town of Woodruff standout student. These first half highlights and stats have been brought to you by Rich County Government, Rebels with a championship cause. We'll be right back on the Ellingford Brothers Halftime Report. When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Ken Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Ridge Rebels!
Every excavation project requires the professionals, the equipment, and the strategy to get the job done right. J-Bar Excavation in Randolph, Utah has the team, the tools, and the plan to execute every phase of your project to create exactly what you're looking for. They have the machinery and the experience to provide quality work that fits your schedule and your budget. Call them today, 435-793-5855. J-Bar Excavation, 90 North Main, Randolph. The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live. Welcome back to the Ellingford Brothers Halftime Report. It's time for your standout student, brought to you by the Town of Woodruff. Mayor Scott Saby, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Ken Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with clerk Lisa Bell. And tonight's guest on the standout student, a sophomore at Rich High School. Ryan Steineckert with sophomore Ellie Johnson at Rich High School, member of the Rich Rodeo Club. Ellie, thanks for your time.
Hi, glad to be here.
Let's talk about rodeo first. How long have you been doing rodeo type stuff?
So I've been riding my whole life, and I just started rodeoing. My 8th grade year, I participated in the Junior High Rodeo Association, and then freshman year, so about 3 or 4 years now.
What events do you do?
I do breakaway poles and team roping.
And do you have a favorite of those, or you enjoy all of those?
I enjoy them all, but team roping definitely has a hand up.
Who's your teammate?
He's a kid from down in Enterprise. His name's Bode Bowler.
From Enterprise. That's a little ways away.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. It's kind of hard because we don't get to practice together, but we just show up to the rodeos and hope each other's practice and just see what kind of happens.
Now, have you qualified for state this year in any of those events yet?
Yes, I have. So we qualified Friday night at Oakley. We placed 9th place in team roping. And again, Friday night at our Rich Rodeo, we placed 9th, but I haven't qualified for poles or breakaway yet.
So in team roping, you're qualified. Speaking of qualifying for state, did you make it to state last year, and how did that go?
Yeah, so I qualified for poles and breakaway last year. In breakaway, I had a really good state. I caught both rounds. The first round, I was a 2.84 and was 4th place in the round, so I got a buckle and lots of points for that, so that was really cool.
That's great. So you have high expectations or high hopes for yourself this year?
I really do. I'm hoping to make it to either Silver State or Nationals this year.
Is there a rodeo that you enjoy more or less? Are they all just great time? Tell me about that.
They're all a really fun time. I really like the Dixie rodeos because St. George is nice and warm, and especially in November because it's really cold up here.
It's like an early spring break. You're getting cold here, you go down to the warm Red Rock.
Right, and they always have cowboy prom, so like you get to go to like a second prom, and so that's just really fun.
Your sophomore year, how things going?
Oh, sophomore year, it's kicking my butt. Biology, it's getting to me, but we're getting through it.
The regular sophomore classes, tough so far?
That's about it. Just biology, math and English. They come really easy to me. It's just biology that kind of gets to me.
Is that Grohl?
Yeah, it's Mr. Girl.
Tell him to take it easy a little bit. What are we going to do?
I don't know, man. He's got to lighten up on us.
Ellie, are there classes you are enjoying right now or that you've enjoyed maybe thinking about pursuing as a career? Anything along those lines?
Well, I'm just taking carpentry right now. It's a really fun class, but I don't think I want to be a carpenter when I grow up.
So have you thought about a career? Or are you kind of just exploring and thinking right now?
I'm kind of just exploring and thinking right now. I think something in like the veterinarian field, like especially dealing with like horses and cows and that stuff, I think it'd be really cool.
You're already like 2/3 the way there with your experience, with horses and rodeo and riding and everything.
Right, and you see a lot of stuff like rodeo and of horses being hurt, and so you get to know a lot before you actually have to go into school.
Are there classes or opportunities, things you can do here at Rich to pursue that a little bit, find out if that's really something you're interested in?
I know there's like a vet tech class that Lacey teaches, or she wants to teach. I don't know if she's gotten it yet, but then I took the animal science that Cooper teaches. But other than that, we don't have a lot of options.
A little bit you'd like more, so that's interesting. Ellie, we've talked about rodeo. Do you play any sports?
I do. I'm on the cheer team.
Okay, cool. And how's that going?
It's going really good. So I'm only doing winter season, but what I've done through the summer, doing the parades and the practices and the camps we went to, it's been a really, really fun experience.
So with rodeo in the fall, then cheer in the winter, and then you'll be back to rodeo in the spring.
Yeah, it's going to keep me busy and on my toes, but I think it's going to be lots of fun.
Outside of those things, do you play any instruments or have any other hobbies at home, things you like to do?
Yeah, I play instruments, so I play the guitar, saxophone, ukulele, harmonica, and I'm picking up the piano right now.
So is Mr. Woods going to get you to head up with the band while you're in your cheer uniform for basketball games?
I don't know, maybe. I am in the band class this first trimester, so we'll see how good I get at everything.
He's going to have to get a teammate, hopefully not from Enterprise, to rope you to get up and perform with the band.
Maybe.
Ellie, anything else we should touch on?
I think that's it.
Nothing more about Ellie Johnson we should know?
Just that I'm really amazing, but that's about it.
Amazing and humble, Ellie Johnson. Last question, what's the best thing about being a Rich Rebel?
It's a really tight-knit family. We're all friends. You can go up and talk to anybody in the Commons or sit by anybody at the game. So I think it's really cool that we're all just such a tight-knit family.
Rich Rodeo Club member Ellie Johnson, a sophomore at Rich High School. Thanks so much for your time. Good luck with rodeo, the coming cheer season, the band, everything you have going on. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Ellie. The Standout Student has been brought to you by the Town of Woodruff. Town of Randolph, third quarter's coming up. We'll be right back on the Ellingford Brothers Halftime Report.
As the hospital closest to Bear Lake, professional medical care is always available at Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. As a full-service hospital, Bear Lake Memorial offers an emergency.
Right.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills,
As the hospital closest to Bear Lake, professional medical care is always available at Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. As a full-service hospital, Bear Lake Memorial offers an emergency room that's open 24/7. They treat patients of all ages. Other professional services include physicians' clinics, assisted living, home health services, counseling, dialysis, physical, occupational, and speech therapy, orthopedic care, and skilled nursing. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
When you want something custom built for your home, farm and ranch, vehicle, or trailer, it needs to be done with precision, be strong, and be affordable. Get all this and more when you work with the Steel Shop at Ellingford Brothers. You bring the plan or idea, and they'll make it a reality. The Steel Shop sells and installs vehicle accessories like bull bars, running boards, and bed liners. They also specialize in truck and trailer hitches as well. Get it built to last. Ellingford Brothers, 221 County Road in Evanston. This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by CAD Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at CAD Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
A beautiful night here in Bear Lake. You see the sunset there if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com. And if you're a Bears fan, it's a beautiful sight on the scoreboard, 26-0. If you're a Rebels fan, that's a bit of a lopsided, rough first half. Rich finished with, by my unofficial stats, I had the Rebels with, I believe, let me double check so I don't tell you wrong. Yeah, minus 3 yards of offense. 18 passing yards, negative 21 on the ground. And Ashley Grohl taking over on camera. Our lucky night, Holt. Do you realize that? Holt Argyle, he's running camera for the team. Rebels coming out in this second half will kick the ball away to Bear Lake. Rebels had it to start the first half. And again, Owen Tusher, who grew up in Rich County and is a Bear Lake import, has been impressive as quarterback for the Bears. He completed his first 5 passes for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. In fact, even more impressive, his first 2 completions were for 52 yards and 2 scores. He finished the first half 11 of 16 for 237 yards and 2 scores with 1 interception. That 1 interception is your Rebel Precision Play of the Game, brought to you by McKay Frankham Dental Services so far. Now, Rich was shut out last week, 40-0 against the Kanab Cowboys. This Bear Lake team, I think offensively, a lot more, I don't know that they're better. I think there's a lot more, they're maybe a lot more potent or explosive, especially with Tusher behind center. He's got a strong arm and, boy, a real calm demeanor in the backfield, and it takes that from a quarterback. It takes that to be a good quarterback, is that calm demeanor, deal with the pressure, and not get flustered. So, again, the Rebels will kick off to start this second half. And the third quarter will be brought to you by the town of Randolph. This halftime show has been presented by Ellingford Brothers, the best in specialized services, including construction, steel fabrication, sand and gravel, and more. That's Ellingford Brothers. This kickoff brought to you by Bear Lake Physical Therapy, helping Rebels and Bears get back in the game since 1998. Cam Jarman now over across the way on the Rebels sideline. Has an office here in Montpelier, along with his offices in Garden City and Randolph. And as I mentioned, helping Rebels get back in the game since 1998. Rebels set to kick this one away. And we're underway in the town of Randolph third quarter. Huffaker, a high short kick, fielded, bobbled, or dropped on the turf, and then picked back up at the 25. Bouncing out left, breaking a tackle. Alleman following tackles, following blocks rather, breaks another tackle across the 35 to about the 37. That looked like it could have been dangerous for the Bears. Ends up being dangerous for the Rebels as Alleman dropped that kickoff at about the 16-yard line and ended up returning it all the way out to the 37.
about the 32.
PA man says 32. I'm going to double check. No, it is the 37. Bears with 302 yards unofficially of offense in that first half. And a flag flies, an illegal substitution. Bears will march themselves back a couple, 5 yards. That's 95 yards in penalties. Bear Lake had 6 penalties for 90 yards in that first half alone. So back to their own 32. Maybe the PA man foresaw that penalty and said the 32-yard line knowing what was to come. A first down and 15 for Bear Lake. Does that give Coach Messerly something different to think about for this first down play or not? The way the Bears have moved the football, I mentioned during the halftime that the Bears had 6 possessions in that first half. They scored 4 times. Hayden Meek intercepted an Owen Tusher pass in the second quarter, so that was one possession they didn't score. The other possession, they just ran out of time at the end of the first half. The drive got down to the 10-yard line before time ran out. Now, those are the only 2 times the Bears didn't score in that first half. Out wide to the left is Ashton Carlson. He's been targeted 1 time, I believe, did not make the catch. King in motion. Tusher takes the snap and gives up the gut. Picking his way forward to the 40 is Matt Hammond. I thought it was him, but he lined up as a receiver through all of the first half. But he lines up in the backfield this time and gets out to the 40-yard line. An 8-yard gain for Matt Hammond on his first carry. Last year against the Rebels, he shredded Rich defense. 20 carries, 221 yards. That's 11 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns, including a 78-yard run late in the game. King in motion again. Tusher takes the snap and gives to Moss, running right, nowhere to go. He's driven down behind the line of scrimmage. And a loss of a couple back to about the 37, maybe the 38. We'll see where they spot it. The 37-yard line is the spot, so a loss of 3. That's back at the original line of scrimmage where this drive started. So Moss loses 3. He's got 4 carries for 8 yards in the game. And it's a 3rd and 10 for Bear Lake with 10.5 left to go in this Town of Randolph third quarter. Mayor and Town Council and Town Clerk wish the Rebels good luck throughout the seasons. Cody King in motion, snap to Tusher, looks right, throws over the middle. He's got Teagan Criswell across the 50, down the seam to the 48-yard line of Rich. Tusher does something that you don't see a lot of high school quarterbacks do, which is look off the free safeties. He'll look one way and then look to his primary receiver secondarily. All the way out to the Rebel 48. That's a 15-yard gain. Teagan Criswell has been one of Tusher's favorite targets. 4 catches, 75 yards on the night. Tusher, 15 of 17. 252 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. In the shotgun, delayed handoff, left side, picking his way off the left side. A flag flies in late after the man was brought down. It was, again, Dalton Moss on the carry. A short gain, but the flag. Officials discussing, and the Whitecap head official gives the indication a personal foul face mask against Rich. Rebels had limited themselves to 4 penalties for 20 yards. That one almost doubles their penalties from the first half and gives Bear Lake excellent field position after about a 2-yard gain. They move it all the way upfield. Handoff to Hammond, coming in motion from the left side, breaking tackles all the way inside the 20, from the 32 down to about the 18.
First down yardage all the way down to the Rich.
That'll be, they'll spot it down closer to the 17. A 15-yard gain for Hammond. And he's a tough running back. I was surprised when Coach Messerly told me that he'd have Hammond primarily as a receiver. But to see him carry the football here in this second half. Not surprising. Tusher takes the snap and give up the middle, driving down near the 10-yard line to Cody King. Give him 5, down to the 12. King, 4 carries, 25 yards in the game. Second down and 5 for the Bear Lake offense, leading 26-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Third quarter action brought to you by Town of Randolph. Tusher in the shotgun, brings Tiegan Criswell in motion. Tusher sends everybody moving left, gives back toward the right, and again down to the 6, maybe the 5-yard line. Cody King picks up the first down and a little bit more. They spot him down right at about the 5. So give King 7 more yards on that carry. And he's at 32 rushing yards on just 5 carries. Kind of becoming the workhorse here in this second half, or at least on this drive. That's his second carry. 1st and 10, Bear Lake at the Rebel 5-yard line. Tusher takes the snap, quick pitch out to Criswell, left side, stops, cuts, dives over his own man and gets a little boost into the end zone. Touchdown, Tiegan Criswell, his second touchdown of the day, and the Bears extend their lead out to 32-0. A 5-yard touchdown run. Criswell with a receiving touchdown and now 2 rushing touchdowns, only 10 yards on the ground, but 2 of those 6 carries have gone for scores.
All right, 82 Jackson Crane lines up for the
8 plays, 63 yards, and the Bears line up to kick the extra point, would make it 33-0. The snap is good, hold is down, the kick low again, but through the uprights, and the Bears lead 33-0. Take a quick timeout, be back with more of the Town of Randolph third quarter on the Wildlife at mylocalradio.com.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Rebel touchdowns are brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy, physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. And extra points by Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. Unfortunately, it's the Bears who've put 5 touchdowns on the board, 33-0 on the Station on. And Rich set to receive the kickoff. Bears will boot it away from the 45. Bear Lake attacking here in this third quarter, right to left. If you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, Schreiber will kick it away. Part of the difference, and you can see it right. Maybe you can't quite see it on your camera, but right down here in front of us, big number 77, Kenny Moore. A little bit of a representation of the size difference that this Bear Lake Bears team has over the Rich Rebels. Kick right down the middle of the field. Does not go all the way to the end zone. Kyler Wilson goes back, picks it up at the 5, drives forward out the left sideline, about to the 20-yard line, and that's where Rich will start its first possession of half number 2. 7 minutes, 44 seconds left to go in the Town of Randolph third quarter. Rebels are going to need some Saby Trucking offensive line holes, and at this point, if you're the Rebels, I think you're probably not realistically thinking we're going to win this game. Your realistic thinking is, okay, let's execute, let's focus, let's work, and get better. Because that's what this opportunity is a chance to improve and figure things out a little bit more. Huffaker from the shotgun sends a man in motion. No, that's Huffaker going in motion. And the quarterback keeper right up the gut is Riley Carrillo in at quarterback. And he takes it up the gut for about 3. Make it 4, a 2nd and 6. Coach Grohl told me we might see more of Carrillo at quarterback. He came in late in the game last week against Kanab, and fairly limited action. Attempted 3 passes, completed 2 to his team and 1 to the other team. 33-0 Rebels trail. Carrillo in the shotgun. Nope, he steps up under center. Sends a man in motion and takes the snap. Give to that man in motion with nowhere to go. Ball squirts loose and Bear Lake has it. Rebels turn it over for a second time. Tonight it is Bear Lake football. That ball came out late and it was away from the big pile of bodies. And Bear Lake for the second time today will take over near the Rebel 20. 6:57 left here to go in the third quarter. There's a flag against Bear Lake, and that's an unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm pretty sure that came after the fumble was recovered and the play was over. So 15 yards will put the Bears at 110 yards of penalties in the game. And puts their starting field position back to the 35 instead of the 20. Still very good starting field position for this Bears offense. And the way they've moved the ball, they're probably not too concerned about that, other than the fact that they're going to have to clean things up against teams like Westside or Marsh Valley, some of those teams that they'll face in 2A Idaho competition. Tusher in the shotgun. Moss, I believe it is, on his right hip, takes the snap. Tusher starts looking to throw, then passes. He looked to run, then passed over the middle, and the Rebel defense read it, knocked it away. Kyler Wilson, I believe, the man to knock it down. Garbett was the intended receiver. Tusher still having himself a great night, 12 of 18. That's about 67% completion percentage, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. 6:51 left in the town of Randolph third quarter. Ashton Carlson wide left. Tusher in the shotgun. He's got slot backs or wing backs on each side. King in motion from the left. Tusher looking deep to the left side for Carlson, and Ashton pushes off. A flag flies in as the pass goes a little bit long, incomplete. On the defense, Jaden Grohl, and this should be a pass interference on the offense. You could see Carlson throw his arms out and push Grohl away to try and get position to make that catch. But they call pass interference on the Rebels. Wow. That's surprising. That's different than what I saw from up here at this angle. Gives Bear Lake a first down at the 20. PI called against Rich. That's 50 yards in penalties against the Rebels, and it gives Bear Lake a first down and 10 at the Rich 20-yard line, essentially negating that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Bear Lake moments ago. 6:45 left in the town of Randolph third. Tusher in the shotgun. Stepping up to his right hip is Matt Hammond. Tusher takes the snap, rolls right, looking to throw, still looking, stops, throws back against his body. Back corner of the end zone, incomplete, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. I believe it was James Alleman. No, Jackson Garbett was the intended receiver. So a 2nd and 10 for Bear Lake. Bears leading 33-0. Our camera tonight is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty, Gary and Amber McKee, the Bear Lake Home and Investment Experts. Bear Lake Realty. 2nd down and 10 Bears. Ball in the middle of the field. One receiver wide out to the left side. Tusher sets up the screen, tosses. He's got Alleman. Breaks one tackle, bounces out left side, trying to get around the corner, cuts back up inside. He stood up and ripped down Hayden Meek. What a tackle in the open field to keep Alleman from getting into the end zone. Not Alleman, but Brendan Burbank, actually the receiver on the play. And
first and goal for the Bears from the 2.
Burbank still gets down near the end zone on about an 18-yard play. I think they spotted it down about the 2 or 3 yard line. We'll say the 3, based on, or just inside the 3. Bears with a first and goal at the Rebel 3. Give to King right side, and he'll scamper in untouched. Hit at the goal line, but he's already in. And the Bears push the lead out further, 39-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Cody King with his first rushing touchdown of the game. Puts his total at 35 rushing yards. Bears, boy, these skill guys, these skill positions, they've got some big, strong, and fast running backs. Extra point is up and good. 5:48 left in the Town of Randolph third quarter, and we'll take a quick timeout and be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
And so that identical score of 40-0 of when Rich hosted Kanab last week. The Bears have had, 6 in the first, 2 in the second, 8 possessions. They've scored on 6 of them. A very efficient Bear Lake offense so far in this game. Tusher with 269 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And they didn't pass much on that drive. It was mostly the running game. A low line drive squib kick. The Rebels fielded Hayden Meek at about the 20. Starts left, or about the 30 rather. Cuts back right up the field and gets out around the 40, maybe the 42-yard line. So Rich takes over, 1st and 10. Let's see exactly where they spot this. Yeah, the Rebel own 42-yard line. Third quarter brought to you by the Town of Randolph. Invite you to stay tuned for our post-game show. Presented by Epic Recreation. We'll have the Stacy's Repair post-game diagnostics interview with Coach Justin Grohl and also the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. 1st and 10 for Rich. Carrillo gives to Huffaker running left, and he stood up in the backfield, breaks a tackle or two, gets a little further outside, but he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2.
That'll go from 9:30 to 11.
Huffaker moved to a running back position.
Dalton Moss on the tackle. Loss on the play, 2nd down and 12.
A loss of 2 brings up a 2nd and 12. Huffaker 9 carries, 17 yards in the game, including the 8 carries for 19 yards as a quarterback. And Rich had one drive where things were working fairly well early in the game. It was about midway through the first quarter. And Huffaker picked up a couple of comprehensive family dental first downs, so just running right up the middle. But they haven't found that success again since. Carrillo under center, takes the snap, back to throw, over the middle. He's got his man. Good catch by the Rebels' Riley Taylor. And how Carrillo got that off in traffic. He was being hit as he threw the pass. Taylor makes the catch out at the 47. Hammond makes the tackle. It's a 7-yard gain. Brings up a 3rd and short for Rich. So Carrillo 1 of 1 on the day. I'm going to have to put Riley Taylor on my score sheet here after that catch. A 3rd down and 4. Carrillo back to throw. Runs to his left. He'll keep it and run for the 1st down. Left sideline. He steps out of bounds and picks up the comprehensive family dental 1st down. Brought to you by Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1997. They'll mark Carrillo out across midfield at the Bear Lake 46-yard line. A 7-yard scamper by the sophomore moves the chains. Rich up to the line of scrimmage again. Carrillo in the under center. Sends Huffaker in motion, gives it to him, running left. He picks his way forward, has a little bit of room inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. So the Rebels finding some success as they've shifted positions for Carrillo and Huffaker. And that brings up a second down and short. Stetson picks up 6.5 yards. They'll spot him just inside the 40-yard line. Sorry, Stetson, I'd like to give you 7, but I just can't on that 6-yard run. Ball in the left hash. Rebels tighten it up. One receiver wide left and 2 wingbacks. Man in motion is Meek. He'll get the handoff. Coming to the right side. Finds a little bit of room. He stood up, and 20 of the 22 players on the field in a big pile. Bears came away with the football. Teagan Criswell wanted to run for 6, but whistles came before he came away with the ball. And Hayden Meek picks up a few. They'll spot him at the 37. A 3-yard gain. Sets the Rebels up with a 3rd and 1. One minute, 40 seconds left in the town of Randolph third quarter. Bears lead big, 40-0. They scored on their 3rd play from scrimmage and on their 4th play from scrimmage. Carrillo keeps this one himself, dives up the middle, ends up on the turf again. The Bears saying they forced a fumble and pointing it's our football, but no, the officials say Rebel football, and a first down. Move the chains. Carrillo with another run for a first down, brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental and Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1998. They spotted at the 34-yard line, so a 3-yard gain for Carrillo. He's got 3 carries for 14 yards, and the Rebels have a first down in Bears territory. Carrillo takes the snap, rolls right, quick throw to Huffaker, and he's got nowhere to go. Makes a catch in the backfield and loses 5. The Bears' swarming defense. Huffaker made the catch with a few yards of free space, but that free space closed up in a hurry. A loss back to the 38-yard line. Minus 4 yards on the catch for Huffaker. Rebels on the right hash for a second down and 13. Huffaker in motion, gets the handoff from right to left, has to try and bounce it outside, then tries to cut back. He slips down and loses another 5 or 6. And that takes us to the end of the Town of Randolph third quarter. Town of Randolph, good luck from the mayor, board members, and clerk. We'll be back with the 4th and final period right after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Established in 1870, Randolph, Utah is home. Home to the rich rebels, to hardy people of high character, and to values of dedication, honesty, hard work, education, and respect for self and others. Randolph is also home to friendly folks who love their families, their town, and their neighbors. Count yourself a neighbor whenever you visit Randolph, Utah. Mayor Lynn Weston and the Town Council of Randolph wish the rich rebels good luck and invite you to visit anytime.
Fourth quarter brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Whether you're looking for beachfront, room with a view, secluded mountain retreat, any number of timeshare options, Bear Lake Realty is the most experienced and highest volume realtor in the Bear Lake Valley. Gary and Amber McKee, visit bearlakerealty.com. Rebels had a drive going, but they've been pushed back into a 3rd and 19. Carrillo throws out to the right side. Throw is low. It's dropped. And there's no way that was a backwards pass. That's incomplete unless it was caught and then run backwards. And the mass of bodies kept me from being able to see whether that was the case. Looks like it was incomplete. The pass was low. And so that'll put it back at the line of scrimmage, the 42-yard line for 4th and about 18. So Rich will line up to punt it away. And another drive. This chalk this up. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Rebels probably not thinking at this point, okay, we're going to win this game and come back and take the lead. They're thinking more, hey, let's execute, let's try to improve. And that drive showed them some positive things. Huffaker gets off a nice punt, but takes a Bear Lake bounce into the end zone for the touchback. Trying to find that right corner, the coffin corner, and kick it out of bounds. Huffaker just misfires. Bear Lake will take over from its own 20. The Bears' possessions have started at the Rebel 36, the Rebel 20, their own 28, their own 40, the Rebel 45, and their own 25. Their own 37, the Rebel 35. This is the worst starting field position of the day for the Bear Lake Bears, their own 20. Bear Lake leads 40-0. Gotta wonder if Coach Messerly is going to put in some younger guys. That might be a little too early at this point. A running clock here in Idaho at 35, a 35-point lead, you get a running clock. So that's where we're at here in the fourth quarter, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Rebels will go back to the drawing board after tonight. They have a bye week next week to work on some things, get some timing issues down, and try to be better for that next week when they start region play. Tusher in the shotgun, takes the snap, turns and gives to, I believe, Hammond running left. No, not.
Wilson on the stop for the Rebels.
PA man said number 15, Tiegan Criswell. Either way, a gain of about 7 or 8 yards for the Bears. Out to the 27, is that where they've spotted? The 27.5. Second down and 3, Bear Lake offense. Man in motion, left to right. Tusher gives up the middle and a big collision as I believe it was Conk stopped Burbank just short of the first down. So Burbank picks up about 1. Bringing up a 3rd down and 2. The 28-yard line. It's a short 2 for the Bears. Time continues to run, down under 9 minutes left in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Tusher in the shotgun, but that offensive line has been pretty solid today. Fakes a handoff, rolls to his right, then heaves it downfield. Coming back to make the catch at the Rebel 45 is James Alleman. And that was just a situation where the defense was looking at the offensive player, and the offensive player was looking back at the quarterback, and it's the connection. I'm going to throw it up there, and Alleman makes the catch. Tusher completes his 14th pass of the night. That one all the way to the Rebel 46-yard line, 4 plus 22, a 26-yard pass and catch. Puts Tusher at 275 passing yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Snap, give left side. Hammond wrapped up in the backfield, nowhere to go. No, that was Tiegan Criswell. And the Rebel defense got some good penetration into the middle. James McKinnon, the sophomore defensive tackle for Rich, brought Criswell down for a loss of 1. Criswell, 7 carries, just 9 yards, but 2 of those carries have been for a total of 7 and 2 touchdowns. Back to the 47-yard line, 2nd down and 11 for the Bear Lake offense with time running down in the Bear Lake Realty fourth quarter. Criswell in motion. Tusher gets the snap, gives to Moss, running left, wrapped up by the Rebel defense, and just holding on for dear life was Bridger Weston. He didn't let Moss go, and the Rebels bring him down back about the 49, a couple more yards back. Brings up a 3rd and about 14 for the Bear Lake offense. Moss, as soon as he received that handoff, had nowhere to go. Good stop by the Rebel defense. A 3rd down and a long 13 for the Bears with 6:50 left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth. Tusher, low snap, pulls it in, rolls right, throws for the sideline, and caught. Nope, not caught. Bobbled by Alleman. He made the catch, but he was well out of bounds by the time he fully controlled it. So count that as incomplete. Tusher 14 of 22 for 275 and 2 touchdowns. And the Bears face a punting situation for really the first time today. Owen Tusher back at his own 35-yard line. Hayden Meek and Kyler Wilson back deep to receive the punt on a 4th down and 13. Watch out when you have a quarterback for a punter, especially one like Tusher. Of course, up 40-0. I wouldn't expect Coach Messerly to fake this one. Tusher gets off a pretty good punt, a spiral. Meek calls for fair catch at the 19 and makes the catch. A good punt by Tusher. And the Rebel defense does its job, getting the ball back. There's another spot of improvement for Rich, so you can look at in today's game and take away as a positive. Rebels will start from their own 19-yard line. 4th quarter, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. It's getting chilly. Ashley Grohl with the short sleeves. You feeling cold? You wish you brought a jacket? If I was any kind of a gentleman, I'd have a jacket, but I don't have one. Ball on the left hash. It was 80 degrees at kickoff time. It's cooled off significantly. We got a bit of a breeze coming in from the west, maybe the southwest off the lake. Carrillo under center at quarterback, gives to Huffaker, running left, breaks the tackle, still on his feet, pushing forward. That low center of gravity continues to drive forward and almost out to the 24-yard line. So Huffaker was stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but just kept those feet churning and pushed all the way out to the 23 for a 4-yard gain. Huffaker was sacked 4 times in that first half for a loss of 35 yards combined. And those numbers take away from his individual rushing stats. So 12 carries, 22 yards, minus the 35 yards of sacks. And Huffaker is at actually 16 carries for minus 13 yards. 40-0 Bears on the Station on Main scoreboard. Ball on the left hash. Rebels facing a 2nd and 6. Grohl in motion left to right. Carrillo back to throw. Wanted to go over the middle to Taylor, but the tight end little dump was covered, so Carrillo keeps it, runs out to the 26. He spun around and knocked to his backside. A short gain of 3 brings up a 3rd down and 3 for the Rebels. Carrillo, tonight's leading ball carrier for the Rich Rebels, 4 carries for 17 yards. Hislop had just 3 carries in the first half and all 3 for negative yardage, so they stopped going to him. Just the plays that they run to Hislop were not working tonight against the Bears. Under 3.5 to go in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. Again, invite you to stay tuned for our Epic Recreation post-game show, the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap, and our Stacy's Repair interview with Coach Justin Grohl. Carrillo running the option. Out to the right side, keeps it himself, lowers the shoulder, gets the first down. He stood up. A big scrum of players push him out to the 31 or 32-yard line. And a comprehensive family dental first down for the Rich Rebels, and Riley Carrillo with the carry. They'll give him progress clear out to the 33-yard line, so a 7-yard gain puts Carrillo at 24 yards rushing on 5 carries. The first down brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental and Dr. Sean Grohl, providing quality family dentistry since 1997. Moves the chains. Time down to 2:43 left in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter. And an unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bears well after the play. I didn't even see the flag on the field. For Bear Lake tonight, that's 3 unsportsmanlike penalties and 125 yards in penalties. You add up 4 unsportsmanlike penalties plus 2 personal fouls. The Rebels have the ball near midfield. Quick give up the gut and straight ahead across midfield into Bear Lake territory. Goes, I think it was Colton Hislop on the carry.
Handoff goes for 5 yards out across midfield, 2nd down and 5.
A 5-yard gain for Rich to the Bear Lake 47. Carrillo under center for 2nd down and 5. Steps back, looking to throw. Nope. Through to the right side. And incomplete, intended for Riley Taylor. Through to that far sideline, and that incompletion will bring up a 3rd down and 5 with just over a minute and a half left to go. So Carrillo 2 of 4 for 3 yards. One completion went for 7, another went for -4. This Bear Lake defense has been impressive tonight. It's a real swarming defense. Whenever a skill player for Rich has gotten the ball, whether on a reception or running the football, boy, a lot of gang tackling happening for this Bear Lake defense. Carrillo takes the snap, quick give right up the gut. Again, pushing straight forward, and I believe it was Hislop picking up a few. With a minute left to go, the Rebels will move the chains to the 42-yard line. Another comprehensive Family Dental 1st down, 5 yards. I'm not sure who carried it, so I'll give it to Colton Hislop. 43 seconds left to go. Carrillo under center. Hislop behind him, a couple of yards. Snap is bobbled, dropped. Carrillo picks it up, and he's immediately hit and brought down. That may do it unless the Rebels hustle and try to get one more play in or take a timeout, which they do. We'll take a quick one as well in the Bear Lake Realty 4th quarter and be back on the Wildlife at mylocalradio.com.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Second down and 11 with time running down. Carrillo back to throw. Scrambles left, scrambles back right, gets around the corner and dives forward out of bounds. Stops the clock and picks up. No, it won't stop the clock because we got a running clock, but would have stopped the clock. Instead, the clock continues to run down to 12, 11, 10 seconds left to go. Carrillo picked up about 8. Make it 7 to the 35, but they're going to run out of time to run any more plays. A 7-yard gain takes us to the final 40-0. The Bear Lake Bears with the victory over the Rich Rebels, and for the second consecutive week, Rich loses 40-0. This 4th quarter has been brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Gary and Amber McKee in Garden City. We'll take a quick break. Thank Ashley Grohl for running camera here in the second half, and we'll be back with your Epic Recreation post-game show after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
What could be better than a fresh, mouth-watering burger from the Crawford Trough in Randolph? Top it with cheese and thick-cut bacon, or throw in some mushrooms and make it a double. Now we're talking. Add home-cut fries and a creamy shake, and you might just think you're in paradise. With crisp salads and tasty wraps, plus onion rings, perfectly cooked chicken, cold drinks, and silky smooth ice cream, the Crawford Trough is the place to eat and drink at 120 South Main in Randolph. We're back on the post-game show, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Make your vacation an epic one to remember. For all your rentals at Bear Lake, visit epicrecreation.net or find them on Facebook. Time for your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's at 113 Front Street in Evanston. Gourmet sandwiches fresh and fast every day at Jimmy John's. The Rebels, Game 2 of the 2019 season, and the Bear Lake rivalry up at Bear Lake. And it didn't start well for the Rebels. It didn't end well for the Rebels. Spoiler alert, the Rebels went 3 and out on their first possession, had a low snap, and turned it over on downs at their own 36-yard line. 2 plays later, Owen Tusher found James Alleman for a 32-yard touchdown pass. The very next play from scrimmage for Rich resulted in a fumble, a Bear Lake recovery at the 20, and 1 play later, Tusher found Teagan Criswell for 20 yards and a touchdown pass, and Bear Lake led 12-0. They failed on the extra point conversions. Rebels got a little something going on their next possession, but ended in a punt. The Bears would score again. Teagan Criswell with a 2-yard touchdown run. Hayden Meek had maybe the lone bright spot defensively for the Rebels defense, an interception midway through the second quarter. Jackson Garbett scored one more time for the Bears before the half, and Bear Lake led 26-0 at the break. Second half, the Bears got the first possession, and they drove all the way down, right down Teagan Criswell, a 5-yard touchdown run. One more touchdown run for Cody King put the score at 40-0, and that's where it ended for a second consecutive week. The Rebels fall 40-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Jimmy John's, where they spend 6 hours daily slicing all natural meats and fresh produce for your 30-second sandwich. Stay tuned on the Epic Recreation postgame show. We've got the Stacy's Repair postgame diagnostics. Coach Grohl will join us to chat about tonight's game. We'll have some final highlights and stats, and we'll be right back after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. You rely on your vehicle every day. Make sure your ride gets the best service, repairs, and maintenance possible. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff provides the highest quality, the latest technology, and the newest equipment to give your vehicle the absolute best auto care available. Family owned and operated since 1992, your friends at Stacy's Repair promise to always deliver value and outstanding, honest, and knowledgeable service, regardless of repair size or difficulty. Stacy's Repair, the ones who truly care.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports boosters, the Wilson Ranch in Randolph. Good luck, Rebels, from Dale, Kim, Kyler, and Casey. Remember, the harder you work, the more good luck you'll have. And by Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply, a custom shop specializing in leather and wood goods, with a farm feed and supply store to boot. Proudly supporting the Rich Rebels, the Argyle Ranch Saddle and Boot, Feed and Supply Store.
40-0 for a second consecutive week. The Rebels lose, and this week it's at Bear Lake. Next week the Rebels have a bye, and then Rich the following week on Friday the 13th plays at Gunnison. We'll tell you more about that coming up, but first on the Epic Recreation postgame show, we've got Coach Justin Grohl joining us for the Stacy's Repair Diagnostics. And Coach, another tough loss. The offense had struggled to get going. You did have a couple of offensive drives where things seemed to be working, though.
You know, we had to switch it up. We made a change at quarterback and let Stetson go back because he's a pretty good runner, and let him run it a little bit, and Riley stepped up and run it really well. So, you know, that helped us and kind of got us a little momentum, but too little too late when you're down 40 and the clock, it's a running clock. Right. You know, it's one of those things that it just gets over faster, and you don't have the time. Let's
come back to your quarterback play in just a second, but this Bear Lake team offensively, They look sharp, and taking nothing away from last year's quarterback, Ashton Carlson. He's still a wide receiver for this team, but you can see why they made the move to Owen Tusher as their starting quarterback, as their man.
Oh, yeah, he's always been pretty good at it. He transferred to play baseball, so he's got an arm anyway, and he was a pitcher, and so you could tell that when you throwing strikes and stuff, you got to be pretty accurate, and he was tonight. Yeah. He was very accurate, and the receivers caught it, and so you have to give it to them. They played very, very well.
He has, it seems like, at least his body language has that quality that a good quarterback needs, which is poised. He doesn't get stressed about pressure, moving, whatever it is in that backfield.
Yeah, he was better. He was really, really good. That was a good team. Very, very good team. I didn't expect it to be quite as uniform and hitting on all cylinders like they did, but they come out. You wouldn't have thought that was their very first game. So, if they can keep it together, they'll go a long way in their division.
Their offense looked very sharp for a first game, as you mentioned.
Their defense was really tough too. They brought somebody from everywhere, and we couldn't block them all. And we was having trouble until we finally made some adjustments the end of the third quarter, but a little too late.
Right. Let's go back to your quarterback. I don't know if it's a situation. I don't think it's a controversy, but your quarterback, let's just call it a situation. Huffaker is a guy who gives his all day in, day out, every play. Is Carrillo a guy that you're going to move into that quarterback position? You're still going to go back and forth a little bit?
You know what? I think that after watching it, and Stetson's been okay with it. We've already told him that, was going to try it, and he actually was the one that come and said, what, I think I can do a little bit better and help the team better at running back, put Riley in, he's more accurate. So we was just trying to get him a little bit of time and get him understanding and kind of calm the nerves a little bit before we did it.
Gotcha.
And so probably from now on we'll start Stetson over as a running back, and we'll let Riley play as the quarterback.
That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know Stetson that well, but the little I know of him, he's the kind of guy that would say, you know what, this is better for the team, so take me out of that star role and let's be a better team.
Yeah, and he's done that for 3 years. We've went from he's been a running back, a fullback. Then he went to line because that's where we needed him,
right.
And he went to there, and then he went to quarterback, and now he's back over at a slot back, and so he's very unselfish, and he wants what's best for the team, and he does very well.
Coach, next week a bye. Altamont was on the schedule. They didn't. They ended up not having a football program. So, what kind of focus will you have? You get 2 weeks now to work on things before you play at Gunnison.
We're going to clean some things up. We've got some films right now on Gunnison, so we'll go back and start implementing that. Now it's in our region. It's play.
Yeah.
So now it really starts. This game was a good test to see what we had and stuff, but that's a good team. I mean, I think they're a lot better even than the Kanab team that we played last year or last week.
Yeah, I think so.
I think if you match them two up, I think that Bear Lake would come out on top fairly easily, just like they did today. But we're going to go back. We're going to fine-tune some things. Now we've got the quarterback since we switched that, and we're going to fine-tune a few things there and hopefully fine-tune some more things on the defense and then we'll get ready for Gunnison. So we got 2 weeks to prepare for them, and then we can start out, I hope on a good note and start on a win in the region.
Gotcha. Coach, anything else you want to touch on?
No, I think that's it. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming up to talk. Coach Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebels, thanks so much.
Thanks, Ryan.
That's the Stacy's Repair post-game diagnostics with Coach Justin Grohl, head coach of the Rich Rebel football team. Stacy's Repair, need a repair? Take it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff. Stay tuned. We've got more of the post-game show coming up, including the Rebel Sports Update. We'll also have some post-game highlights and stats on the Epic Recreation post-game show right after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
When T7 Propane in Woodruff, Utah is your propane supplier, you get reliable, safe, and professional propane service. And that's not all. T7 Propane offers years of expertise, quality product, and the most responsive propane service in the area. For home or other heating needs, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for professional or business propane needs. Call 435-793-4208. That's 435-793-4208.
In Rich County, we know that our children are our future. Helping our kids grow into kind, productive adults is a community effort. This is Rolene Kennedy, Auto Farm Chevrolet's Rich County representative, serving my neighbors for more than 20 years. My kids are Rich High School graduates. When you need a vehicle, come and see me, new or pre-owned. I'll always treat you with respect and honesty, the Rich County way. Auto Farm Chevrolet, we're a community-driven dealer. Go Rebels!
40-0 the final score. Rebels have been outscored in 2 games, 80-0. But got some things going offensively tonight. Rich ends in the black in offensive production. And if you're a fan of this is reaching back a little ways, guys. But remember what about Bob? Baby steps. And I don't mean to be flippant about things, but the Rebels have. There's obviously a long ways to go to improve, get better, and start and win some games. And they made some baby steps tonight, especially later in the game. We saw with Carrillo in their quarterback, the offensive production got more consistent. The blocking somehow, and that was adjustments not just on changing the quarterback, but changing and adjusting each player individually and what they're doing out on the field. Also, we saw late in the game the Rebels force Bear Lake into a punt. And so the defense found some adjustments and got better. We saw some tackles in the backfield. So those type of improvements are the kind of thing the Rebels will need to continue to make and work on for the next couple of weeks until they play at Gunnison Valley 2 weeks from tonight. This is the Epic Recreation post-game show, and I had Rich finish with, by my unofficial stats, 46 yards of offense, 25 rushing yards, 21 passing yards. As for Bear Lake, 379 yards total, 275 passing from Owen Tusher, most of those in the first half. He finished with 237, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for Owen Tusher on the night. And so the victory, obviously, for Bear Lake. Let's move along in our Epic Recreation post-game show. We've got the Rebel Sports Update, and tonight we hear from a Rebel senior, Elaine Thompson, member of the drill team. Ryan Steineckert with senior Elaine Thompson at Rich High School. Thanks for your time, Elaine.
You're welcome.
Got to make sure to say Thompson, no Pson, right?
Yes, no P.
How is drill team going so far?
Really well. I'm excited to be a senior on the drill team.
Is this your second, third, fourth year doing it?
This is my 3rd year doing it.
What do you enjoy about it? What keeps you coming back?
Dancing. I love to dance, and Ruth Ann's a very good coach.
Did you grow up dancing, doing any little girl dance classes, anything like that?
No, I didn't, but my mom always wanted me to dance, and I never did because I don't listen to her. But then eventually no other sport worked out, so then drills worked out the best, and I love dancing now.
So now that you know you love dancing, and have you started listening to your mom a little bit more?
Yeah, she's very happy that I eventually did it.
So the dancing with competition, does that add something you enjoy to compete, or is the competition, do you like that?
Yeah, I like the competition. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time it gives you something to do. Like all the hard work pays off eventually. This
last Friday, you guys were set to dance at the football game, and you started, right? The music started, and then it just went out, and you had to just hang out. Tell me about what was going through your head, what you guys were thinking.
Yeah, my legs were starting to hurt, so I had to get up and stretch. And, yeah, it's kind of happened in the past, and we've been told that if the music doesn't work, just restart. So we're all kind of programmed to go with the flow, whatever happens.
The team is a little smaller, not as many members this year. How does that change things for you?
It's kind of nice. I do miss all the seniors, but it is kind of nice. The smaller team, we're more uniform.
So when you say uniform, you mean you guys are closer, more kind of unified?
Yeah, we're closer in skill level as well.
So now you're the senior. Do you feel like more weight on the shoulders to lead or to learn quicker and kind of set the example?
Yes, but I also like it because I've never been able to do that before. So I like it being one of the leaders with Kaya and Allie. It works out very well, the three of us.
Once the music finally got going last Friday, did you guys feel like you performed well?
Yes, we did really good, which was, well, not really surprising, but it was interesting because we made a lot last-minute changes. But it still worked out good because we all worked hard to perform our best.
Have you guys as a team talked about goals this year and like winning state or improving from last year or anything along those lines?
Yeah, our personal goals. We all need to, go home and stretch for as long as we can and work on kicks and practice all the dances every day.
Anything else we should know about the Rich High drill team?
We may be small, but we can still fill the floor and do our best and perform very well.
Elaine Thompson, senior member of the Rich Rebel drill team, thanks for your time and good luck with the rest of the school year and drill team and everything else.
Thank you.
This has been the Rebel Sports Update. Thanks so much, Elaine. It was a pleasure getting to know Elaine a little bit more and talking with her earlier this week. Coming up on the Epic Recreation postgame show, we'll take a quick look ahead at the Roundup calendar. Rebel Volleyball continues tomorrow at Cokeville. We'll tell you more about that here on Rich Rebel Football and the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Is it time to stop wishing for your dream home in beautiful Bear Lake? If you're ready to make your dream a reality, Bear Lake Realty can help. With residential and land listings, including vacation properties, timeshares, cabins, condos, beachfront, lake view, and more, Bear Lake Realty has what you're looking for. And with more than 30 years of real estate experience in the area, you know you're working with the best. Visit BearLakeRealty.com and come and enjoy the Caribbean of the Rockies with us.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest powder, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
On the Epic Recreation postgame show, we'll give you what's coming up and then wrap this thing up. Tomorrow, the Rebel volleyball team continues to play at the Cokeville tournament. I haven't heard any word on schedule yet, who Rich will play or at what time, but assuming things are like last year, the Rich would either play at 8 o'clock or 10:30. Either way, we'll have the match for you right here on KADQ 98.3 FM and MyLocalRadio.com where you can watch live. That's tomorrow all day, and we'll cover all the Rebel matches. And then tomorrow, the Rebel freshman volleyball team is also in action at the Evanston Freshman Tournament. And the University of Wyoming kicks off the season at War Memorial Stadium, hosting the Missouri Tigers. At 5:30 p.m. is kickoff. Looking ahead to Monday, there's no school for Labor Day. Wednesday, you got the UW Coaches Show right here on KDQ 7:07 p.m. next Wednesday night. Thursday, Rebel Volleyball gets back into action, hosting Bear Lake. Friday, Rebel football has a bye. Rebel freshman volleyball team takes on Star Valley, while the Rebel varsity and JV teams host Manila. And the Rich Rodeo Club next week is at the Penguich Rodeo, on Friday, and then Saturday, Penguich Rodeo number 2. Also next Saturday, Royals volleyball and Royals football swings into action at the Mountain View Jamboree, both of them. The volleyball team matches begin at 8 a.m. For the football team games begin at 9 a.m. And also looking ahead to next week, Wyoming takes on Texas State in Wyoming Cowboys football. So that's your look ahead and takes us through the end of next week. Again, don't miss our next Rebel broadcast as Rebel Volleyball continues play at the Cokeville Invitational tomorrow morning. The Rebels will play at either 8 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. Either way, you can listen live here on KDQ and watch live on MyLocalRadio.com. That takes us to the end of our look ahead and our Epic Recreation postgame show. Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net for all your rentals at Bear Lake. For tonight's videographers, Ashley Grohl and Logan Johnson, our producer, Preston Bush back in the studio. Again, a final score on the Station on Main scoreboard. Bear Lake 40, the Rebels 0. We'll be back on the air tomorrow morning with Rebel Volleyball. Until then, I'm Ryan STEINECKERT. We'll talk with you again soon.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School football on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with video streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by Auto Farm Chevrolet, Evanston Regional Hospital, by Plains Tire, the Come On In of Casper, by Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, Cash Honda Yamaha of Cache Valley, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, and by mylocalradio.com. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with Evanston's Elin Olaf, the Valley's Jake Hibbard, and production assistants Preston Bush and AJ Lamb. The biggest thanks of all goes to our sponsors and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches, and like My Local Radio on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Until next time, go Rebels!